Noah adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat, feeling the weight of the moment. Around him, the common room filled with residents and staff, all eager to hear the story. Some sat in chairs, others in wheelchairs, and a few leaned against the walls, a quiet anticipation settling over the room. With a final glance out the window, Noah began to read from his beloved notebook, the pages worn and edges frayed from years of handling. June 6, 1940, he read aloud, his voice steady. It was the summer that changed everything. I was a young man, full of dreams and ambitions, and I had no idea that I was about to meet the love of my life. He paused, allowing the words to sink in, and the room seemed to hold its breath. The town of Seabrook was a small, sleepy place back then, with its wide streets and friendly faces. It was the kind of town where everyone knew each other, and the summers were long and lazy. My family owned a small farm on the outskirts, and I spent my days working the fields, dreaming of the future. Noah looked up briefly, his eyes meeting those of the listeners. He could see their interest, their desire to be transported to another time, another place. I first saw her at the carnival, he continued, his voice tinged with nostalgia. Allie Hamilton. She was visiting for the summer with her family, staying in one of the big houses by the river. I remember the way she looked that night, her eyes sparkling with excitement, her laughter ringing through the air. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. A soft murmur spread through the room, and Noah smiled, feeling the warmth of the memory wash over him. We were from different worlds, he said, his tone thoughtful. She came from a wealthy family, while I was just a country boy. But that night, none of it mattered. We were just two young people, caught up in the magic of the moment. He turned the page, the sound of rustling paper filling the silence. I worked up the courage to talk to her. Noah read, a hint of amusement in his voice. It wasn't easy, let me tell you. I was nervous, stumbling over my words. But Allie, she was different. She had this way of making you feel at ease, of making you believe that anything was possible. He looked up again, seeing the smiles on the faces around him. It was clear that the story was resonating, that it was stirring something deep within them. We spent that summer together, Noah continued, his voice softening. Exploring the town, talking for hours, dreaming about the future. It was the happiest time of my life. But as the summer drew to a close, we knew that our time was running out. We knew that our worlds were about to collide, that we would be forced apart by the very things that had brought us together. Noah paused, taking a deep breath. The emotions were raw, even after all these years. We promised to stay in touch, to find a way back to each other, he said, his voice breaking slightly. But life had other plans. The letters I wrote went unanswered, and Allie was swept away by the currents of her family's expectations. He closed the notebook, the room silent and still. But that wasn't the end of our story, Noah said, his eyes shining with determination. It was only the beginning. And now, my friends, I'm going to share with you the rest of it. The story of how love can endure, even in the face of impossible odds. The room erupted in applause, and Noah felt a surge of gratitude. He had shared a piece of his heart, and in doing so, had found a connection with those around him. As he prepared to read the next chapter, he knew that the journey they were about to embark on together was one that would leave a lasting impression, not just on the listeners, but on himself as well. The summer of 1940 was one of those perfect seasons that linger in memory like a half-forgotten dream. The days were long and warm, the nights cool and clear. In the small town of Seabrook, life moved at a leisurely pace, and the world seemed to be suspended in an endless golden glow. Noah Calhoun was a tall, sturdy young man of 17, with sun-kissed skin and eyes the color of the sky on a clear day. He had grown up in Seabrook, working on his family's farm, tending to the fields and livestock. His hands were rough from labor, but his heart was gentle, filled with a quiet yearning for something more than the life he had always known. That yearning often found him wandering down to the riverbank, where he would sit for hours, lost in thought. It was on one such day that his life changed forever. It was a Saturday, and the town carnival was in full swing. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter, the clinking of coins, and the cheerful melodies of the carousel. Noah had come to the carnival with his friends, but as they scattered to explore the various attractions, he found himself drawn to the Ferris wheel, towering majestically above the fairground. As he approached, he noticed a group of people gathered near the entrance, their eyes fixed on a young girl who stood out from the crowd like a beacon. She was beautiful, with long auburn hair that cascaded down her back and eyes that sparkled with a mixture of excitement and mischief. Her name was Allie Hamilton, and she was about to turn Noah's world upside down. Noah watched as Allie laughed and teased her friends, her smile lighting up her face. There was something about her that captivated him, something he couldn't quite put into words. Gathering his courage, he made his way through the crowd, determined to speak to her. "Hey there," he said, his voice steady despite the butterflies in his stomach. "I'm Noah. Would you like to ride the Ferris wheel with me?" Allie turned to look at him, her eyes meeting his. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then she smiled, a smile that made Noah's heart skip a beat. "Sure, Noah," she said, her voice melodic. "I'm Allie. I'd love to." They climbed into the Ferris wheel carriage together, the ride operator securing the safety bar before the wheel began to turn. As they ascended, the world below grew smaller, and the sky opened up before them, a canvas of blue and white. "It's beautiful up here," Allie said, leaning back and taking in the view. "I've never seen anything like it." Noah nodded, his gaze fixed on her. "It is. But I think you're even more beautiful." Allie blushed, a soft pink coloring her cheeks. "You're quite the charmer, aren't you, Noah?" He laughed, feeling more at ease. "Maybe a little. But it's the truth." As the Ferris wheel reached its peak, they were suspended high above the carnival, the world spread out beneath them like a patchwork quilt. It was a moment of perfect stillness, a moment that would be etched into Noah's memory forever. "Tell me about yourself, Noah," Allie said, her eyes curious. "Where do you come from? What do you do?" Noah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the question. "I live on a farm just outside of town," he began. "My family has been there for generations. It's hard work, but it's honest. I spend most of my days tending to the fields, dreaming about the future. Allie listened intently, her expression thoughtful. "And what do you dream about?" Noah hesitated, searching for the right words. "I dream about seeing the world, about finding my place in it. And I dream about finding someone to share it with." Their eyes met, and in that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. It was as if they had known each other for a lifetime, as if fate had brought them together on that Ferris wheel, high above the world. As the ride came to an end and they descended back to the ground, Noah felt a sense of loss, as if he were leaving behind a part of himself. But as they stepped off the Ferris wheel, Allie reached for his hand, her fingers warm and reassuring. "Thank you for the ride, Noah," she said, her smile bright and genuine. "I hope we can spend more time together this summer." Noah's heart soared. "I'd like that, Allie. I'd like that a lot." And so, the summer of 1940 began, a summer that would change everything. A summer of laughter and love, of dreams and discoveries. A summer that would bind Noah and Allie together in a way that nothing else could. It was the beginning of their story, a story that would be written in the pages of Noah's notebook, a story that would endure long after the summer sun had set. The buzz of excitement filled the air as the carnival lights twinkled like stars against the darkening sky. The smells of popcorn, cotton candy, and sizzling hot dogs wafted through the warm summer evening. Laughter and shouts of joy echoed from the rides and game booths, creating a symphony of fun that captivated the hearts of everyone present. Noah stood at the edge of the carnival grounds, waiting for Allie. His heart raced with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. He glanced down at his clothes, a simple white shirt and jeans, hoping he looked presentable. When he finally saw her walking toward him, his breath caught in his throat. Allie looked radiant in a simple blue dress, her auburn hair cascading in loose waves, and a smile that lit up her face. "Hi, Noah," Allie greeted him, her voice warm and cheerful. "Hi, Allie," Noah replied, his smile matching hers. "You look beautiful." Allie blushed, her cheeks turning a soft pink. "Thank you. You look nice too." They began walking together through the carnival, the sights and sounds enveloping them. They passed by game booths, where children and adults alike tried their luck at winning prizes. The air was filled with the clinking of coins and the occasional triumphant cheer. "Want to try your hand at one of these games?" Noah asked, nodding toward a ring toss booth. Allie grinned. "Sure, but only if you join me." They approached the booth, and the attendant handed them a set of rings. Noah went first, his focus intense as he aimed for the bottles. He managed to land a few rings, earning a small stuffed animal. When it was Allie's turn, she surprised Noah by effortlessly landing several rings in quick succession, winning a larger prize. "Wow, you're really good at this," Noah said, impressed. Allie laughed. "Beginner's luck, I guess." They continued their exploration, stopping at various booths to try different games and sample the carnival treats. They shared a bag of cotton candy, laughing as the sticky sweetness melted on their tongues. Noah couldn't remember the last time he had so much fun, and he found himself drawn more and more to Allie's vivacious spirit. As they wandered, they came upon a carousel, its painted horses gliding up and down in a mesmerizing dance. Allie's eyes sparkled with delight. "Let's ride the carousel," she suggested, her excitement contagious. Noah agreed, and they climbed onto the carousel, choosing horses side by side. As the ride started, the gentle motion and the whimsical music created a magical atmosphere. Noah watched Allie, her laughter filling the air, and he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of happiness. When the carousel ride ended, they continued their journey through the carnival, eventually finding themselves at the Ferris wheel. Allie looked up at the towering structure, her eyes wide with wonder. "Shall we?" Noah asked, offering his hand. Allie nodded, taking his hand as they approached the Ferris wheel. They climbed into a carriage, and as it ascended, the world below seemed to shrink away, leaving them in their own little bubble of tranquility. "It's so beautiful up here," Allie said, her voice filled with awe. Noah nodded, his gaze shifting from the view to her. "It is. But not as beautiful as you." Allie turned to him, her eyes meeting his. "You really are a charmer, Noah Calhoun." He chuckled softly. "I just speak the truth." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the Ferris wheel gently swaying as it reached its peak. The lights of the carnival glittered below them, and the stars above seemed to mirror their twinkling. "Noah," Allie began, her voice soft, "I'm glad we met." "Me too, Allie," Noah replied, his heart full. "This has been the best night of my life." Allie smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. "Mine too." As the Ferris wheel began its descent, Noah felt a sense of certainty wash over him. He knew, in that moment, that this was the beginning of something extraordinary. Their first date at the carnival was more than just a night of fun and games. It was the start of a love story that would transcend time and circumstance. When the ride ended, they reluctantly stepped off the Ferris wheel, hand in hand. They strolled through the carnival, the night air cool against their skin. Noah walked Allie to her car, parked at the edge of the fairground. "Thank you for tonight, Noah," Allie said, her voice tender. "I had a wonderful time." "Thank you, Allie," Noah replied, his heart full. "I did too." They stood for a moment, the world around them fading into the background. Then, with a soft smile, Allie leaned in and kissed Noah's cheek. It was a simple, sweet gesture, but it sent a surge of warmth through his entire being. "Good night, Noah," Allie whispered. "Good night, Allie," Noah replied, his voice a little shaky. As he watched her drive away, Noah knew that this was just the beginning. The summer of 1940 had only just begun, and with it, the promise of a love that would change their lives forever. The summer days flowed one into the other, filled with laughter, adventure, and the blossoming romance between Noah and Allie. They spent their afternoons exploring the town, talking about their dreams and aspirations, and getting to know each other in ways that felt both profound and effortless. One particularly hot afternoon, Noah had an idea. He wanted to show Allie a place that was special to him, a place where he often went to think and dream. As they walked along the sun-dappled paths of Seabrook, he couldn't help but feel a flutter of excitement and a touch of nervousness. "Noah, where are we going?" Allie asked, her curiosity piqued. "It's a surprise," Noah replied with a playful grin. I promise you'll love it. They walked for a while, leaving the bustling heart of the town behind and heading toward the outskirts. The trees grew denser, and the air cooler as they approached the edge of a large lake. The water sparkled under the bright sun, a perfect mirror of the clear sky above. We're almost there, Noah said, leading Allie along a narrow path that wound through the trees. Finally, they emerged into a small clearing, where an old, abandoned lake house stood. It was a grand structure, once majestic but now weathered by time and nature. Ivy climbed its walls, and the paint had faded, but there was a certain charm and mystery to it that made Allie gasp in wonder. Noah, this place is beautiful, she said, her eyes wide with admiration. Noah smiled, relieved and pleased by her reaction. It's my favorite place. I've been coming here for years. It used to belong to a wealthy family, but they moved away a long time ago. Now it's just a forgotten treasure. He led her inside, where the air was cool and filled with the scent of aged wood and lingering memories. The interior, though dusty and worn, hinted at the grandeur it once held. They wandered through the rooms, Noah sharing stories he had imagined about the house's past occupants. This could be an incredible home, Allie said, her eyes alight with imagination. I can see it now, restored to its former glory, filled with life and laughter again. Noah watched her, captivated by her vision and enthusiasm. That's always been a dream of mine, he admitted. To fix it up, make it beautiful again. Maybe even live here someday. Allie turned to him, a smile playing on her lips. I think it's a wonderful dream, Noah. They continued exploring, eventually making their way to a large back porch that overlooked the lake. They sat down, side by side, their legs dangling over the edge. The water shimmered in the afternoon sun, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the surrounding trees. This place is magical, Allie said softly, leaning against Noah. Thank you for sharing it with me. Noah wrapped an arm around her, feeling a deep sense of contentment. I'm glad you like it, Allie. I wanted you to see it because, well, because it means a lot to me. And so do you. Allie looked up at him, her eyes filled with emotion. You mean a lot to me too, Noah. More than I ever thought possible. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, simply enjoying each other's company in the serene beauty of the lake house. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a golden glow over the water, Noah turned to Allie with a thoughtful expression. Allie, can I ask you something? Of course, Noah, she replied, her gaze steady. Do you ever think about the future? About what you want your life to be like? Allie nodded, her expression contemplative. I do. I want to live a life filled with love and happiness. I want to be with someone who makes me feel alive, who supports my dreams and shares theirs with me. Someone like you, Noah. Noah's heart swelled with emotion. That's exactly what I want too, Allie. A life with you. They shared a tender kiss, the kind that spoke of promises and possibilities, of dreams yet to be fulfilled. As they pulled away, Noah held her close, feeling the certainty of their connection. Let's make a promise, Allie said, her voice firm yet gentle. No matter what happens, no matter where life takes us, we'll always come back to this place. This will be our sanctuary, our reminder of this perfect summer. Noah nodded, his eyes locked with hers. I promise, Allie. This place will always be ours. As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle above, Noah and Allie sat together on the porch of the old lake house, dreaming of a future that, despite the uncertainty and challenges, felt incredibly bright and full of love. The days of summer seemed to stretch endlessly, each one more enchanting than the last. As the golden sun cast its warm embrace over Seabrook, Noah and Allie's romance blossomed, weaving a tapestry of unforgettable moments and deepening affection. They spent their mornings exploring the town and countryside, often wandering through fields of wildflowers or strolling hand in hand along the sandy shores of the lake. Allie, with her adventurous spirit, delighted in discovering hidden corners of Seabrook that Noah had never noticed before. Each new discovery became a precious memory, a piece of the puzzle that was their growing love. One bright morning, they decided to have a picnic by the lake. Noah packed a basket with sandwiches, fresh fruit, and a bottle of lemonade. Allie brought a blanket and a sketch pad, eager to capture the beauty of their surroundings. They found a secluded spot under a large oak tree, its branches providing a canopy of shade. As they sat down to eat, Allie pulled out her sketch pad and began to draw. Noah watched her, mesmerized by the way her fingers moved deftly over the paper, bringing the scene to life with each stroke of her pencil. You're so talented, Allie, Noah said, his voice filled with admiration. I love watching you create. Allie looked up, her cheeks tinged with a blush. Thank you, Noah. Drawing helps me capture the moments I never want to forget. Noah leaned closer, peering at her work. That looks amazing. You're capturing everything perfectly. Allie smiled, feeling a surge of warmth from his praise. Would you like me to draw you, Noah? He laughed, a hint of shyness in his eyes. Sure, but I don't know if I'll make a good subject. Trust me, Allie said, her eyes sparkling. You'll make a wonderful subject. As she sketched, Noah felt a sense of intimacy and connection that he had never experienced before. Allie's eyes flicked back and forth between him and the sketch pad, her brow furrowed in concentration. Noah couldn't help but admire her passion and dedication. When she finished, she turned the sketch pad around to show him. The drawing was a beautiful rendition of Noah, capturing not just his physical features but also the kindness and depth in his eyes. It's incredible, Allie, Noah said, genuinely moved. Thank you. Allie smiled, pleased with his reaction. I'm glad you like it. They spent the rest of the day lounging by the lake, talking about their dreams and aspirations. Noah shared his hopes of fixing up the old lake house, turning it into a home filled with love and laughter. Allie spoke of her desire to travel the world, to see new places and draw inspiration from different cultures. You know, Noah said thoughtfully, we could do all of that together. Fix up the lake house, travel, make a life that's uniquely ours. Allie's eyes lit up with excitement. I love that idea, Noah. It sounds perfect. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the lake, Noah took Allie's hand and led her to the water's edge. The soft lapping of the waves and the gentle rustling of the leaves created a soothing symphony. "Allie," Noah said softly, his voice full of emotion, "I know we've only known each other for a short time, but it feels like I've known you forever. I can't imagine my life without you." Allie's heart swelled with love. "I feel the same way, Noah. You've become such an important part of my life, and I don't want to lose that." They stood in silence for a moment, the world around them fading away. Then, with a gentle pull, Noah brought Allie into his arms. They shared a tender kiss, the kind that spoke of promises and a future filled with endless possibilities. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Noah and Allie lay on the blanket, gazing up at the heavens. They pointed out constellations and shared stories, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the night. "I think this is what love feels like," Allie whispered, her head resting on Noah's shoulder. "It's magical and beautiful and makes everything seem possible." Noah kissed the top of her head, his heart full. "I think so too, Allie. And I want to hold on to this feeling forever." Throughout the summer, their love grew stronger, their bond deepening with each passing day. They continued to explore, to dream, and to cherish the moments they spent together. Noah introduced Allie to his favorite books and music, while Allie shared her sketches and stories with him. They supported each other's passions and encouraged each other to reach for the stars. Their romance was not without its challenges. They came from different worlds, and the pressures of their families and society loomed over them. But together, they faced these challenges head-on, finding strength in their love and commitment to each other. One evening, as they sat on the porch of the old lake house, Noah took Allie's hand and looked into her eyes. "No matter what happens, Allie, I want you to know that I'll always be here for you. I'll always love you." Allie squeezed his hand, tears of happiness glistening in her eyes. "And I will always love you, Noah. Nothing can change that." As the summer days gave way to the crispness of fall, Noah and Allie knew that their time together was drawing to a close. But they also knew that their love was strong enough to withstand the trials ahead. They had shared a summer of dreams, laughter, and love, a summer that would be etched in their hearts forever. And as they faced the future, they held on to the promise they had made, to always come back to each other, to the place where their love had blossomed. The old lake house, with its ivy-covered walls and serene lake, would forever be their sanctuary, a testament to the love that had brought them together in the magical summer of 1940. As the summer days rolled on, Noah and Allie's romance grew stronger, their bond deepening with every shared moment. Yet, beneath the surface of their idyllic love story, societal pressures and family expectations began to cast a shadow over their happiness. Allie came from a world of privilege and refinement. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton, were well-respected members of Seabrook's elite, and they had grand plans for their daughter's future. They envisioned her marrying someone of equal social standing, a man with wealth and influence who could provide her with the life they deemed appropriate. Noah, on the other hand, was the son of a humble carpenter. His family lived a modest life, working hard to make ends meet. Despite his dreams and ambitions, Noah's background was a stark contrast to the world Allie was accustomed to. the differences between their worlds became glaringly apparent during a dinner at the Hamiltons' grand estate. Noah had been invited, and though he felt out of place, he was determined to make a good impression for Allie's sake. The house was a magnificent mansion, with sprawling gardens and an air of opulence that was both intimidating and awe-inspiring. Allie, sensing Noah's discomfort, squeezed his hand reassuringly as they approached the front door. "Don't worry, Noah. They'll love you once they get to know you." Noah smiled, though his nerves were palpable. "I hope so, Allie. For your sake." The evening began pleasantly enough, with polite conversation and introductions. However, as the night wore on, the thin veneer of civility began to crack. Mr. Hamilton, a tall, imposing man with a stern demeanor, scrutinized Noah with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. "So, Noah," Mr. Hamilton began, his tone measured, "I understand you work at the lumberyard. Is that correct?" "Yes, sir," Noah replied, trying to maintain his composure. "I help my father with the business." "And what are your plans for the future?" Mr. Hamilton continued, his eyes narrowing slightly. "Do you have ambitions beyond working at the lumberyard?" Noah hesitated, feeling the weight of the question. "I do, sir. I have dreams of fixing up the old lake house and maybe starting my own business one day." Mrs. Hamilton, a graceful woman with an air of sophistication, interjected. "That's very commendable, Noah. But don't you think it might be challenging, given your circumstances?" Allie bristled at her mother's words, sensing the underlying disapproval. "Mother, Noah is hardworking and talented. He's capable of achieving anything he sets his mind to." Mrs. Hamilton gave her daughter a tight smile. "Of course, dear. But it's important to be realistic about these things." The rest of the dinner was marked by a strained atmosphere. Noah felt the sting of their subtle criticisms and the weight of their expectations. Despite Allie's reassurances, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being judged and found wanting. After dinner, as they walked through the gardens, Allie tried to comfort Noah. "I'm so sorry about tonight. They just don't understand." Noah sighed, his heart heavy. "It's not your fault, Allie. I knew this wouldn't be easy. Our worlds are so different." Allie stopped and turned to him, her eyes filled with determination. "It doesn't matter to me, Noah. I love you, and that's all that matters." Noah pulled her into a tight embrace, his heart aching with love and fear. "I love you too, Allie. But I'm afraid of what the future holds for us." As the summer began to draw to a close, the pressures from Allie's family intensified. They began arranging social events and introducing her to young men from prominent families, subtly and not so subtly trying to steer her away from Noah. Allie's mother would often remind her of the importance of securing a stable and prosperous future. "Allie, darling," Mrs. Hamilton would say, "you have such potential. You deserve the best, and we want to see you happy and secure." Allie would listen, her heart torn between her love for Noah and the expectations of her family. She knew that Noah could provide her with a kind of happiness that no amount of wealth could match, but she also understood the societal pressures and the life of comfort she was being asked to give up. One evening, after another tense conversation with her parents, Allie sought solace at the lake house. Noah was there, working on a new project, his hands covered in sawdust. Seeing him, she felt a sense of peace and belonging. "Hey," Noah greeted her, wiping his hands on a rag. "You okay?" Allie nodded, though her eyes were filled with worry. "I just needed to see you. Everything feels so overwhelming." Noah set his tools aside and took her hands in his. "I know it's hard, Allie. But we'll find a way to make it work. I promise." Allie looked into his eyes, seeing the unwavering love and determination there. "I believe you, Noah. But sometimes I feel like the world is against us." Noah pulled her into his arms, holding her close. "Let them be against us. We have each other, and that's what matters." As they stood together in the fading light, the future seemed uncertain and fraught with challenges. Yet, in each other's arms, they found the strength to face whatever lay ahead. Their love, forged in the magical summer of 1940, was strong enough to withstand the pressures of society and the disapproval of family. They were determined to fight for their future, no matter the cost. As the days of summer dwindled, an unspoken tension hung in the air between Noah and Allie. The reality of their impending separation loomed ever larger, casting a shadow over their once carefree days. They tried to savor every remaining moment together, but the bittersweet knowledge that their time was running out was impossible to ignore. One late August afternoon, they found themselves at the lake house, the place that had become their sanctuary. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the water. They sat on the porch, their hands intertwined, watching the tranquil scene before them. "Do you remember the first time we came here?" Noah asked, breaking the silence. Allie smiled wistfully. "How could I forget? It feels like a lifetime ago and just yesterday at the same time." Noah nodded, his heart heavy. "I knew then that I wanted to spend every day with you, Allie. This place has so many memories now, all because of you." Allie leaned her head on his shoulder, drawing comfort from his presence. "I wish we could stay here forever, Noah. Just the two of us, away from everything else." "But we can't," Noah said softly, his voice tinged with sadness. "We have to face reality, and right now, that reality means we have to say goodbye." The words hung in the air, a painful reminder of the inevitable. Allie felt a lump rise in her throat, tears threatening to spill. "I don't want to say goodbye, Noah. I don't want this to end." Noah turned to her, his eyes filled with determination. "It doesn't have to end, Allie. This summer might be over, but our love isn't. We'll find a way back to each other, no matter what." They spent the rest of the evening reminiscing about their summer, sharing their favorite moments and laughing at their inside jokes. As night fell, they built a small fire and lay on the blanket, gazing up at the stars. It was a night filled with both love and heartache, as they clung to each other, knowing it was their last night together for a long time. The next morning, the day of their parting arrived. Allie had to return to her life in the city, and Noah would remain in Seabrook, continuing his work at the lumberyard. They met one last time at their favorite spot by the lake, the place where their love had truly blossomed. Allie stood by the water's edge, her suitcase at her feet, her heart breaking. Noah approached her, his own emotions barely contained. He took her hands in his, looking deeply into her eyes. "I want you to have this," Noah said, pulling out a small, weathered notebook from his pocket. "It's where I wrote down all my dreams and plans for the future. I want you to be a part of that future, Allie." Allie took the notebook, tears streaming down her face. "I'll keep it close, Noah. And I'll write to you every day. We won't let this be the end." Noah pulled her into a tight embrace, his heart aching with the thought of letting her go. "I love you, Allie. Always and forever." "I love you too, Noah," Allie whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "Always and forever." They shared a final, lingering kiss, pouring all their love and longing into that one moment. As they pulled away, the weight of their impending separation felt almost unbearable. With one last look, Allie picked up her suitcase and started to walk away. Every step felt like a battle, each one taking her further from the man she loved. She turned back once, seeing Noah standing by the water, watching her go with a look of profound sadness and unwavering love. As she disappeared from view, Noah felt a tear roll down his cheek. He stood there for a long time, long after Allie had gone, holding on to the hope that their love would endure the distance and time apart. For Allie, the journey back to the city was a blur of emotions. Her heart ached with the loss of Noah's presence, yet it was filled with the memories of their magical summer. She clutched the notebook he had given her, a symbol of their love and the promise of a future together. Back in Seabrook, Noah threw himself into his work, determined to build the future he had dreamed of. He spent his days working tirelessly at the lumberyard and his evenings at the lake house, slowly transforming it into the home he and Allie had envisioned. Letters became their lifeline, each one a treasured connection that bridged the gap between them. They poured their hearts onto paper, sharing their hopes, dreams, and the minutiae of their daily lives. The letters were filled with love and longing, a testament to the bond they refused to let fade. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Noah and Allie held on to the promise they had made, to find their way back to each other. The end of summer had brought them physical separation, but their love remained strong, a beacon of hope in the face of uncertainty. The old lake house stood as a symbol of their love, a place where their memories lived on and their dreams were being built. And though the road ahead was uncertain, they knew that as long as they held on to their love and the promise of a future together, they could overcome any obstacle that came their way. The days stretched into weeks, and the weeks into months. Autumn brought a crisp chill to the air, and with it, the promise of new beginnings. Yet, for Noah, the changing seasons only served as a painful reminder of the distance between him and Allie. Every day, without fail, Noah would sit at his desk in the lake house and pour his heart into letters to Allie. Each letter was filled with his thoughts, his dreams, and the deep longing he felt in her absence. He wrote about the progress he was making on the lake house, the small victories and the challenges he faced. He shared his hopes for their future, the plans they had made together, and the memories of their magical summer. The routine became a solace for Noah, a way to stay connected to Allie despite the miles that separated them. He would seal each letter with a kiss, address it to her in the city, and walk to the post office with a sense of purpose. He imagined her reading his words, feeling his love and drawing strength from their connection, but as the weeks turned into months, the silence from Allie grew deafening. Each day he would check the mailbox, hoping to find a letter from her, only to be met with disappointment. At first, he tried to rationalize the lack of response. Perhaps she was busy with her studies, or maybe the letters were delayed. He clung to the hope that she was receiving them and that her replies were on their way. The town of Seabrook was a small, close-knit community, and Noah's daily trips to the post office did not go unnoticed. Old friends and neighbors would often ask about Allie, and he would smile, assuring them that she was well. But as time went on, the concerned looks and sympathetic glances began to wear on him. One rainy afternoon, Noah sat at his desk, staring at a blank sheet of paper. He had written so many letters, each one filled with love and hope, but the silence was beginning to take its toll. He picked up his pen and began to write, pouring his heart out once more. "Dear Allie, I hope this letter finds you well. I miss you more than words can express. Every day, I think of you and the beautiful summer we shared. The lake house is coming along well. I've been working hard to make it everything we dreamed of. I can see us here, living the life we talked about, filled with love and laughter, but Allie, I'm worried. I haven't heard from you in so long. I keep writing, hoping to hear back, but the silence is unbearable. I don't know if my letters are reaching you, or if something has happened. Please, if you receive this, let me know you're okay. I love you, always and forever, yours, Noah." He folded the letter, sealed it, and walked to the post office in the pouring rain. As he handed it over, the postmaster, Mr. Jenkins, gave him a sympathetic look. "Still no word, Noah?" Mr. Jenkins asked gently. Noah shook his head, his heart heavy. "Not yet, but I'm hoping this one will reach her." As the days continued to pass without a reply, Noah's hope began to wane. He threw himself into his work, trying to drown out the aching silence with the sound of hammering nails and sawing wood. The lake house slowly transformed, each improvement a testament to his dedication and love for Allie. One evening, as he sat by the fire, staring at the flames, he couldn't help but wonder if something had gone wrong. Had Allie's parents intercepted the letters? Was she unable to reply? Doubts and fears gnawed at him, but he refused to give up hope entirely. The townspeople, too, noticed the change in Noah. He was still kind and hard-working, but there was a sadness in his eyes that hadn't been there before. They admired his perseverance, but they also worried about the toll the silence was taking on him. Winter arrived, blanketing Seabrook in a layer of snow. The lake house, now nearly complete, stood as a symbol of Noah's unwavering love and determination. But the cold, silent nights were the hardest. He would sit by the window, looking out at the snow-covered landscape, and think of Allie. The notebook he had given her weighed heavily on his mind. Was she reading his words, thinking of him, as he was of her? Christmas came and went, and still, there was no word from Allie. Noah's heart ached with the emptiness of her absence. He continued to write, though the words became harder to find. The silence seemed to stretch endlessly, each unanswered letter a painful reminder of what he had lost. One particularly cold January night, Noah sat at his desk, staring at the pile of letters he had written. He picked up his pen and began to write once more, the words flowing from a place of deep longing and despair. "Dear Allie, this will be my last letter. I can't keep writing into the void, hoping for a reply that never comes. I've poured my heart into these letters, shared my dreams and my fears, but the silence is unbearable. I don't know if you're receiving them or if something has happened. But I need to move forward, as hard as that may be. I'll always love you, Allie. You've changed my life in ways I can't even begin to describe. I'll keep the memories of our summer close to my heart, and I'll continue working on the lake house, hoping that one day, you'll walk through the door and we'll pick up where we left off. Until then, I'll say goodbye. Please, take care of yourself. I'll be here, waiting, hoping, yours forever, Noah." With a heavy heart, Noah sealed the letter and placed it on the pile. He knew it was time to let go, even if only a little, and try to find a way to live without the constant ache of unanswered letters. The next morning, he took the final letter to the post office. As he handed it over to Mr. Jenkins, there was a sense of finality in the gesture. "Take care, Noah," Mr. Jenkins said softly. Noah nodded, his eyes filled with unshed tears. "Thank you." As he walked back to the lake house, the weight of the silence pressed down on him. The letters may have gone unanswered, but his love for Allie remained, a constant presence in his heart. And though the future seemed uncertain, he held on to the hope that one day, they would find their way back to each other. The vibrant cityscape of Raleigh was a far cry from the quiet town of Seabrook. For Allie Hamilton, college life was a whirlwind of new experiences, challenges, and opportunities. The bustling campus was alive with energy, filled with students from all walks of life, each carving out their own path. Allie had settled into her new routine at the university, juggling her classes, extracurricular activities, and the social life that came with being a freshman. The initial excitement of starting college had gradually given way to the demands of academic life, but Allie found herself thriving in the new environment. Her days were filled with lectures, study sessions, and the occasional escape to a cozy cafe where she could unwind with friends. Despite the busy schedule, Allie couldn't help but feel a pang of longing for the summer she had left behind. The memories of Noah and their time together by the lake house were a bittersweet comfort. She missed him deeply, and the unanswered letters weighed heavily on her heart. She often wondered if he had given up on her, if he was still waiting for a reply that might never come. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves were turning shades of gold and red, Allie attended a campus event at the Student Union. It was a social mixer, designed to help students meet new people and build connections. Allie had initially been hesitant to go, her heart still tethered to Noah, but her friends had insisted, encouraging her to embrace the opportunities college life had to offer. As she mingled with other students, Allie found herself in a conversation with Lon Hammond, a charming and affable young man with an easy smile and a friendly demeanor. Lon was a junior majoring in business, and he exuded a confidence that immediately put Allie at ease. They talked about their classes, their favorite spots around the city, and their mutual love for classic literature. Lon's attentiveness and genuine interest in Allie made her feel valued. He listened intently as she spoke, his eyes never wavering from her face. There was something refreshing about his presence, a contrast to the weight of her unanswered letters and the uncertainty she felt. As the evening progressed, Lon invited Allie to join him and some friends for dinner at a nearby restaurant. She hesitated at first but eventually agreed, wanting to take a break from her usual routine. Over dinner, the conversation flowed easily, and Allie found herself laughing and enjoying the company of Lon and his friends. For the first time in a while, she felt a sense of ease and lightness. Lon's charm and humor were hard to resist, and as the weeks went by, he became a regular presence in Allie's life. They started spending more time together, going on walks around the city, attending campus events, and sharing their dreams and aspirations. Lon was attentive and considerate, always making an effort to show that he cared. One chilly November evening, as they walked through the campus park, Lon took Allie's hand in his. The gesture was simple yet intimate, and it sent a flutter of warmth through her. They stopped by a bench overlooking a serene pond, the city lights shimmering in the distance. "Allie," Lon began, his voice soft, "I really enjoy spending time with you. You have this way of making everything seem brighter, even on the tough days." Allie looked at him, her heart both heavy and hopeful. "I enjoy spending time with you too, Lon. You've been a good friend, and I appreciate your support." Lon took a deep breath, his eyes searching hers. "I know we've only known each other for a short time, but I feel like we have something special. I'd like to see where this could go, if you're open to it." Allie's heart raced. She thought of Noah, of the summer they had shared, and the letters that had gone unanswered. She thought of the love that had once felt so certain. But she also felt a strong connection to Lon, and the idea of exploring something new was both exciting and frightening. I need some time to think," Allie said, her voice trembling slightly. "There's someone from my past I need to reconcile within my heart before I can move forward." Lon nodded, his expression understanding. "I get it, Allie. Take all the time you need. I'm here for you, whatever you decide." The following weeks were a time of introspection for Allie. She found herself grappling with conflicting emotions. Lon had become an important part of her life, and his presence offered a sense of comfort and stability. Yet, her feelings for Noah were not easily forgotten. The unanswered letters, the memories of their summer together, and the dreams they had shared lingered in her mind. Allie began to question what she truly wanted and needed. She knew that moving on was not simply about finding someone new, it was about reconciling her past with her present and making peace with the choices she faced. As the end of the semester approached, Allie faced a crossroads. The path she chose would shape her future, and she needed to confront her feelings for Noah and the possibility of a new beginning with Lon. She wondered if love could be rekindled or if it was time to embrace the new chapter that Lon represented. In the quiet moments of reflection, as she looked out at the cityscape from her dorm room window, Allie pondered her journey. The answers she sought were not easily found, but she knew that whatever decision she made, it would come from a place of honesty and self-discovery. As winter approached, bringing with it the promise of change, Allie stood on the precipice of a new chapter, with the echoes of summer and the whispers of a new romance intertwining in her heart. The world was on the brink of chaos as the outbreak of war swept across continents. For Noah Calhoun, the decision to enlist was driven by a deep sense of duty and a desire to contribute to a cause greater than himself. The lake house, once a symbol of hope and love, now stood as a quiet reminder of the life he was leaving behind. Noah's enlistment came as a surprise to many in Seabrook. The town had watched him transform the lake house with a mixture of admiration and curiosity, but the news of his departure was met with mixed emotions. Friends and neighbors offered their support, but there were also whispers of concern for the young man who had already endured so much. The day Noah left for training camp was overcast, with a chill in the air that seemed to mirror the somber mood of the town. He stood on the platform, clutching his duffel bag, his heart heavy with the weight of leaving Allie behind. He had written to her as often as he could, but her letters had become sporadic, and he worried about her. Training camp was a grueling experience, testing Noah's physical and mental endurance. The days were long, filled with drills, exercises, and relentless discipline. The camaraderie among the soldiers was a small comfort, a bond forged in the crucible of shared hardship. Noah threw himself into the rigorous routine, determined to prove himself and to stay focused on his duty. As the months passed, Noah's letters to Allie grew more infrequent. The harsh realities of war left little time or energy for personal correspondence. The intensity of training and the anticipation of being deployed consumed his thoughts. He found solace in the memories of their summer together, but the pain of separation was a constant ache. When Noah was finally deployed, he was sent to a region that was heavily contested, a place where the echoes of battle were a constant presence. The landscape was scarred by conflict, the once familiar terrain now a battlefield of destruction. Noah's unit was thrust into the heart of the conflict, and the experiences he encountered changed him in ways he could never have anticipated. The horrors of war were brutal and unrelenting. Noah witnessed the devastation of towns and villages, the loss of life, and the toll it took on both soldiers and civilians. The camaraderie of his fellow soldiers became a lifeline amidst the chaos, but the weight of their shared experiences was a burden that could not be easily set aside. One night, as they huddled in a makeshift shelter, Noah and his comrades shared stories and tried to find moments of normalcy amid the chaos. The conversation turned to the lives they had left behind, and Noah spoke of Allie with a mixture of nostalgia and longing. "I miss the lake house," Noah said quietly. "It was our haven, a place where everything felt right." His friend, Jack, looked at him with understanding. "We all have something or someone we're fighting for. Hold on to that, Noah. It'll get you through the tough times." Despite the comfort offered by his friends, Noah struggled with the emotional toll of the war. He became more withdrawn, his once vibrant spirit now overshadowed by the harsh realities he faced daily. The weight of the memories and the uncertainty of the future began to wear on him. One particularly harrowing day, Noah's unit was involved in a fierce battle. The intensity of the combat, the sounds of gunfire, and the sight of fallen comrades left an indelible mark on him. In the midst of the chaos, Noah found himself reflecting on his life, his choices, and the love he had for Allie. He wrote a letter to Allie, pouring out his thoughts and feelings. The letter was filled with raw emotion, a desperate attempt to connect with her amid the turmoil. Dear Allie, the world here is a far cry from the peaceful days we spent together. I've seen and experienced things that I can barely put into words. It's a world of constant uncertainty, where the line between life and death is frighteningly thin. That I think of you often, of the lake house and the dreams we shared. Those memories are a refuge for me, a place of hope amidst the despair. I'm doing my best to stay strong, to hold on to the promise we made to each other. I hope that wherever you are safe and well. That I don't know what the future holds, but I want you to know that you are always in my thoughts. I love you more than ever, and I carry that love with me every day. Yours forever, Noah. The letter was sent, but Noah had little hope of receiving a reply. The realities of war made communication uncertain, and he was resigned to the possibility that this might be his last message to her. As the conflict continued, Noah faced numerous challenges, both physical and emotional. The war had changed him profoundly. The innocence of his previous life had been replaced by a hardened resilience and a deeper understanding of the fragility of life. The war eventually came to an end, and Noah returned home, a changed man. The once familiar landscape of Seabrook seemed both comforting and alien. The lake house, now a symbol of his past, awaited him. But the experiences of war had left their mark, and Noah struggled to find his place in the world he had left behind. That he resumed work on the lake house, but the process was different now. The sense of purpose that had driven him was tempered by the scars of his experiences. He was determined to honor the life he had once envisioned with Allie, but he also faced the challenge of reconciling his past with the present. Noah continued to write letters to Allie, hoping that one day, they might find their way back to each other. The war had tested his resolve and altered his perspective, but his love for her remained a constant, guiding him through the darkness of uncertainty and the hope of a new beginning. The quiet town of Seabrook welcomed Noah back with open arms, though he returned as a changed man. The years of war had etched themselves into his soul, leaving him with a profound sense of both loss and resolve. The familiar landscape that once symbolized his dreams and hopes now bore witness to his struggle and growth. Noah arrived at the lake house on a crisp autumn morning, the air filled with the scent of fallen leaves and damp earth. The house, now weathered and in need of repair, stood as a testament to the passage of time. It was a far cry from the vision he had once had, but it was still his sanctuary, a place where he could confront his past and forge a new future. As he approached the house, memories of the summer he had shared with Allie flooded back. The joy they had experienced, the plans they had made, and the love they had promised to each other felt both distant and immediate. Noah stood on the porch, taking in the sight of the lake and the surrounding woods. It was a bittersweet moment, filled with both nostalgia and a sense of new beginnings. The first few days were spent assessing the damage and making plans for the repairs. Noah worked with a local contractor, discussing the improvements that needed to be made. The lake house, though still beautiful in its own way, had fallen into disrepair, and the task of restoring it seemed both daunting and cathartic. Noah poured his heart into the renovation, channeling his emotions into the physical labor. Each nail he drove, each wall he painted, and each piece of wood he restored was a step toward reclaiming the life he had envisioned. The process was both healing and challenging, a way for him to reconnect with his past and build a future that honored his journey. the townspeople watched with curiosity and support as Noah worked tirelessly on the lake house. Many remembered him as the young man with dreams and ambition, and they admired his dedication to rebuilding not only the house but also his life. Neighbors would stop by to offer their help or simply to catch up, providing Noah with a sense of community and belonging. One evening, as Noah worked on the porch, he noticed a familiar face approaching. It was Jim, an old friend who had been a steadfast presence in Seabrook. Jim had always been a loyal companion, and his return was a welcome comfort. "Well, look who's back," Jim said with a grin. "The place is starting to look like it did before." "It's good to see you, Noah." Noah smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's good to be back, Jim. There's a lot to be done, but I'm getting there." Jim joined him on the porch, and they spent the evening catching up. Noah shared stories of his time in the war, the hardships he had faced, and the ways in which it had changed him. Jim listened with a mix of empathy and admiration, offering support and encouragement. As the weeks turned into months, the lake house began to take shape. The once dilapidated structure was transformed into a beautiful and inviting home. Noah's attention to detail and his love for the place were evident in every corner. The house felt alive again, echoing with the promise of a new chapter. Despite the progress, Noah felt a lingering sense of emptiness. The absence of Allie was a void that no amount of renovation could fill. He had continued to write letters to her throughout the war, hoping for a response, but had received none. The silence was a constant reminder of the unresolved feelings that remained. One chilly December day, as Noah worked on the final touches of the house, he received a letter in the mail. The envelope was worn and creased, and his heart raced as he recognized the handwriting. It was from Allie. With trembling hands, Noah opened the letter and began to read. "Dear Noah, I hope this letter finds you well. I've thought of you often, and I've wondered how you are doing. I received your letters, and I want to apologize for not writing back sooner. The past few years have been challenging, and I struggled with my own battles. I was caught between the past and the present, and it took me some time to find the right words. College has been a whirlwind of experiences, and I've met new people along the way. One of them is Lon, a kind and thoughtful person who has become important to me. It's been a complicated journey, and I'm still figuring out where my heart truly lies. The summer we spent together is a cherished memory, and I will always hold it close. I'm writing to let you know that I've been thinking of you and wishing you the best as you rebuild your life. I hope the lake house is becoming the place you dreamed of, and I hope you find happiness and peace. Thank you for the love and memories we shared. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Yours always, Allie." Noah read the letter multiple times, each word resonating deeply. Allie's honesty and the mention of Lon were both heart-wrenching and enlightening. He understood that she had moved forward in her life, and he respected her journey, even if it meant letting go of his own dreams. The letter brought a mixture of closure and new questions. Noah found solace in the fact that Allie had received his letters and that she had been thinking of him. It gave him the strength to continue his journey, knowing that their love, though changed by time and circumstance, had not been forgotten. As the winter gave way to spring, Noah completed the renovations on the lake house. The transformation was not just physical but emotional as well. The house, once a symbol of dreams and love, now stood as a testament to resilience and hope. It was a place where Noah could start anew, with the past gently woven into the fabric of his present. Noah decided to hold a small gathering at the lake house, inviting friends and neighbors to celebrate the completion of the restoration. The event was a simple yet meaningful occasion, filled with laughter, warmth, and a sense of community. As Noah looked around at the faces of those who had supported him, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. The lake house, with its renewed beauty and charm, was now a symbol of a new beginning. Noah had come full circle, finding peace in the space he had once shared with Allie and forging a path forward. The future was still uncertain, but he embraced it with hope and a renewed sense of purpose. As the sun set over the lake, casting a golden hue across the water, Noah took a moment to reflect on his journey. The past had shaped him, the war had tested him, and the love he had shared with Allie had left an indelible mark on his heart. But the lake house, now a place of new beginnings, offered a promise of a future filled with possibilities. Noah stood on the porch, looking out at the serene lake, and allowed himself a moment of quiet contemplation. The journey had been long and challenging, but he had found his way back to the place he had always called home. And as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Noah felt a sense of peace, knowing that whatever lay ahead, he was ready to face it with hope and resilience. The bustling city of Raleigh had become Allie Hamilton's second home. The rhythms of college life had settled into a comfortable routine, and she had embraced her role as a student with enthusiasm. Yet, amidst the excitement and opportunities, her heart was still weighed down by the memories of the past. The summer with Noah, the unanswered letters, and the choices she had made continued to linger in her thoughts. Lon Hammond had been a constant presence in Allie's life since they had first met. His unwavering support, kindness, and charm had won her heart over time. As their relationship deepened, Allie found herself drawn to him not only for his qualities but also for the stability and understanding he offered. Lon had become an important part of her life, and the connection they shared had grown into something meaningful and profound. One crisp winter morning, as the city of Raleigh was blanketed in a fresh layer of snow, Lon planned a special surprise for Allie. He had been preparing for this moment for weeks, carefully selecting the perfect engagement ring and planning a proposal that would reflect their journey together. Lon had chosen the university's botanical garden for the proposal, a serene, enchanting setting that offered a touch of magic in the midst of the winter chill. The garden was adorned with twinkling lights, and the snow-covered paths created a picturesque backdrop. It was a place that held sentimental value for them, a spot where they had shared many meaningful conversations and moments. As they walked hand in hand through the garden, Lon led Allie to a secluded area where a beautifully decorated gazebo stood. The sight of the gazebo, draped in fairy lights and surrounded by snow-covered pines, took Allie's breath away. The scene was both intimate and enchanting, and she felt a flutter of anticipation in her chest. Lon stopped beneath the gazebo and turned to face Allie, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the lights. He took a deep breath, his nerves evident but his resolve unwavering. He had rehearsed his words countless times, but now, in the quiet of the garden, he spoke from the heart. "Allie," Lon began, his voice tender, "from the moment we met, you've brought so much joy and light into my life. You've been my confidant, my partner, and my best friend. I cherish every moment we've spent together and the future we've been building." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, velvet box. The ring inside sparkled softly, its brilliance reflecting the lights around them. Lon took Allie's hand in his eyes filled with love and hope. "I know our journey hasn't been without its challenges, but through it all, I've found in you a love that is true and unwavering. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, building a future filled with love and happiness. Allie Hamilton, will you marry me?" Allie's heart raced as she looked at the ring and then at Lon. The moment felt surreal, a blend of emotions and memories converging into this pivotal moment. Tears welled up in her eyes as she considered the depth of her feelings for Lon and the life they had built together. "Yes, Lon," Allie said, her voice choked with emotion. "Yes, I will marry you." Lon slipped the ring onto Allie's finger, and they shared a tender kiss beneath the gazebo. The snow continued to fall gently around them, adding to the magical ambience of the moment. They embraced, their hearts beating in unison, as they celebrated their engagement. In the weeks that followed, Allie and Lon began to plan their future together. The engagement brought with it a flurry of excitement and activity as they navigated the details of their wedding. They chose a date for the ceremony, selected a venue, and started making decisions about their life together. The process of planning the wedding was both exhilarating and overwhelming. Allie found herself immersed in the preparations, from selecting the perfect dress to organizing the guest list. Lon was by her side through it all, offering his support and sharing in the joy of their upcoming union. Despite the busy schedule, Allie made a conscious effort to keep in touch with her family and friends. She shared the news of her engagement with them, receiving an outpouring of love and congratulations. Her family, who had been supportive of her choices, were excited for her and expressed their happiness at the news point. One evening, as Allie sat with her parents, discussing wedding plans and sharing stories of her relationship with Lon, she felt a sense of contentment. The life she had envisioned was beginning to take shape, and she was surrounded by the people who had supported her throughout her journey. "Your father and I are so proud of you, Allie," her mother said, her eyes shining with emotion. "You've grown into such a wonderful woman, and we're thrilled to see you find happiness with Lon." Allie smiled, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Mom. I couldn't have come this far without your support and love." As the wedding day approached, Allie and Lon continued to cherish their time together, savoring the moments of anticipation and excitement. Their love had been tested by time and circumstance, but it had endured and grown stronger. The engagement marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with promise and the hope of a future built on a foundation of love and commitment. In the quiet moments of reflection, Allie thought of Noah and the summer they had shared. She acknowledged the impact he had had on her life and the way he had shaped her understanding of love. While the past would always hold a special place in her heart, she was ready to embrace the new life that lay ahead with Lon. As she prepared for the next chapter of her life, Allie felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. The engagement had brought a renewed sense of purpose and joy, and she looked forward to the journey ahead, knowing that it would be filled with love, growth, and new beginnings. The day of the wedding arrived with a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation. Allie and Lon stood together, surrounded by family and friends, ready to embark on their new life as a married couple. The ceremony was a beautiful celebration of their love, a testament to the journey they had traveled and the future they were about to build together. As they exchanged vows and rings, Allie and Lon felt a deep sense of connection and commitment. Their love was a reflection of their shared experiences and the promise of a future filled with hope and happiness. The wedding was not just a celebration of their union but a testament to the strength and resilience of their love. As they walked down the aisle as husband and wife, Allie felt a profound sense of gratitude and joy. The journey had been long and complex, but it had led her to this moment, where she was ready to embrace the new beginning with Lon. The future was bright, and with each step they took together, Allie and Lon looked forward to the adventures that awaited them as they began their life as a married couple. The spring sun filtered through the sheer curtains of Allie's cozy kitchen, casting a warm, inviting glow on the breakfast table. The days leading up to the wedding had been filled with a whirlwind of activity, but now, with the ceremony behind her, Allie enjoyed a moment of calm. She sat with her coffee, savoring the quiet before the day's plans took over. Her parents had sent a local newspaper to her apartment as part of a congratulatory gift. Allie, curious to catch up on the happenings in Seabrook and the surrounding area, flipped through the pages casually. The newspaper was filled with local news, community events, and the usual assortment of advertisements. It was the feature article on the front page of the local section that caught her eye. The headline read, "Restoration of Historic Lake House Completed, a Tribute to Love and Perseverance." Intrigued, Allie scanned the article. Her eyes widened as she saw a large photograph accompanying the piece. The image depicted the lake house in its restored glory, its once weathered exterior now beautifully renovated. But it was not just the house that drew her attention, it was the man standing on the porch, Noah. He was there, looking older but unmistakably the same Noah she had known. His face bore the marks of his experiences, a combination of strength and vulnerability. His presence in the photograph brought a rush of emotions, a blend of nostalgia, surprise, and a hint of regret. The article detailed the extensive renovations Noah had undertaken, emphasizing the historical significance of the house and the personal journey he had experienced. It spoke of the restoration as a labor of love, a way for Noah to reconnect with his past and honor the memories he held dear. As Allie read, she learned about the transformation of the lake house from its dilapidated state to its current state of beauty. The article described Noah's commitment to preserving the essence of the place, his dedication to restoring it to its former charm, and the sense of fulfillment he had found in the process. Allie's heart ached as she read the details. The memories of their summer together, the letters exchanged, and the dreams they had shared resurfaced with a vivid intensity. The lake house had been a symbol of their love and hope, and seeing it restored evoked a deep sense of wistfulness. She thought of the unanswered letters, the silence that had followed, and the choices that had led her to this moment. The photograph of Noah standing on the porch, looking out over the lake, was a poignant reminder of the life they had envisioned and the path that had diverged. Allie found herself contemplating the significance of this revelation. Noah had clearly poured his heart into the restoration, transforming the lake house into a place of new beginnings. It was a testament to his resilience and his enduring love for what they had shared. Her phone rang, pulling her from her thoughts. It was Lon, calling to check in and discuss their plans for the day. Allie answered, but her mind was preoccupied with the image of Noah and the lake house. She felt a mixture of emotions: appreciation for what Noah had achieved, a touch of regret for the unresolved past, and a deep sense of gratitude for the life she was building with Lon. As she spoke with Lon, Allie made a mental note to reach out to Noah. It was important to her to acknowledge the significance of his efforts and the impact they had on her. She wanted to express her appreciation and perhaps gain some closure on the chapter of their lives that had shaped them both. Later that day, Allie sat down to write a letter to Noah. Her thoughts flowed onto the page with a mixture of reflection and sincerity. "Dear Noah, I hope this letter finds you well. I recently came across an article about the lake house and saw the beautiful transformation you've accomplished. The photographs were stunning, and it's clear that you've poured your heart into restoring it. The house looks as beautiful as I remember, and I can only imagine the dedication and love that went into the renovation." Seeing the lake house brought back a flood of memories from our time together, the laughter, the dreams, and the love we shared. It's a reminder of how much that summer meant to both of us. I'm truly moved by what you've done and wanted to let you know how much I admire your commitment and the way you've honored our past. Life has taken us in different directions, and I've been on a journey of my own, building a future with Lon. Our engagement and upcoming marriage are filled with hope and happiness, and I feel grateful for the path I've found. That I wanted to reach out to you not only to congratulate you on the restoration but also to acknowledge the impact our time together had on my life. The lake house will always hold a special place in my heart, and I'm glad to see it cherished and cared for. Thank you for everything, Noah. I wish you all the best in your continued journey and hope that the lake house brings you the peace and fulfillment it once symbolized for us. With warmest regards, Allie. As she sealed the letter and prepared to send it, Allie felt a sense of relief and closure. The past had shaped her, but it was the present and future that she was now focused on. The letter was a way to honor the memories and acknowledge the importance of Noah's efforts. In the quiet moments that followed, Allie felt a renewed sense of peace. The journey of love and life had taken many twists and turns, but she was ready to embrace the future with an open heart. The lake house, with its restored beauty, symbolized the strength and resilience of their shared experiences, and Allie felt a deep sense of gratitude for the past that had brought her to where she was today. The soft glow of the morning sun filtered through the curtains of Allie's apartment, casting a gentle light on the room. She sat at her kitchen table, the newspaper article still fresh in her mind. After weeks of contemplation, a decision had been made. She needed to visit Seabrook, to see the lake house and, more importantly, to see Noah. Allie felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness as she made preparations for the trip. She had shared her plans with Lon, who supported her decision wholeheartedly, understanding the importance of closure and the opportunity to reconnect with the past. Packing a small suitcase with essentials, Allie couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought her here. The decision to visit Seabrook was driven by a need for closure, a desire to honor the past, and a wish to see the lake house that had meant so much to her and Noah. As she boarded the train to Seabrook, Allie looked out the window, watching the cityscape give way to the countryside. The familiar sights of rolling fields and quaint towns evoked a sense of nostalgia. It had been years since she had last visited Seabrook, and the memories of her time there came flooding back with each passing mile. The train ride was both calming and contemplative. Allie thought about the life she had built with Lon, the love they shared, and the new chapter they were beginning. But she also felt a pull towards the past, a need to reconcile the feelings and experiences that had shaped her. Upon arriving in Seabrook, Allie was greeted by the familiar charm of the town. The streets were lined with small shops and cozy cafes, and the lake house stood at the edge of the town, a beloved landmark that had been beautifully restored. Allie made her way to the lake house, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The lake house looked even more enchanting in person. The renovations had brought out its original beauty, and it stood as a testament to Noah's dedication and love. As Allie approached, she could see Noah working in the garden, tending to the plants with care. Taking a deep breath, Allie walked up to the front door and knocked gently. The sound echoed through the house, and a moment later, Noah appeared, his face lighting up with recognition and surprise. "Allie?" Noah said, his voice filled with both wonder and hesitation. "I didn't expect to see you here." "Hi, Noah," Allie replied, her voice soft but steady. "I saw the article about the lake house and felt that I needed to come see it for myself. I hope I'm not intruding." Noah's expression softened, and he gestured for her to come inside. "Of course not. It's good to see you. Come in." Allie stepped into the house, taking in the fresh, inviting atmosphere. The interior had been restored with the same care and attention as the exterior, and it was clear that Noah had put his heart into every detail. They moved to the living room, where Noah offered her a seat. As they settled in, there was an initial awkwardness, but it quickly gave way to a sense of familiarity. They began to talk, catching up on the years that had passed since their last encounter. "It's amazing to see how the house has been restored," Allie said, her eyes wandering around the room. "You've done an incredible job, Noah." "Thank you," Noah replied, a hint of pride in his voice. "It was a labor of love. I wanted to bring it back to life, to honor the memories we shared and create something new." They spent the next hour reminiscing about their time together, sharing stories and reflecting on the past. Allie spoke about her life with Lon, the joys of their engagement, and the future they were building together. Noah listened attentively, genuinely happy for her and the path she had chosen. In turn, Noah shared his experiences of the years since they had last been in touch. He talked about the challenges of the renovation, the satisfaction he felt in completing the project, and the personal growth he had experienced along the way. His words revealed a depth of character and resilience that Allie admired. As the afternoon wore on, Noah suggested a walk by the lake. The weather was beautiful, and the tranquility of the lake offered a perfect setting for reflection and conversation. They strolled along the water's edge, the memories of their summer together mingling with the present moment. "I've missed this place," Allie said, gazing out at the lake. "It's like coming home, even after all these years." Noah nodded in agreement. "It feels like that for me too." Restoring the house was about reconnecting with the past and finding peace with it. They walked in comfortable silence for a while, each lost in their thoughts. Eventually, they reached a small clearing with a bench overlooking the lake. They sat down, taking in the peaceful view. "Allie," Noah said quietly, breaking the silence, "I wanted to thank you for the letter. It meant a lot to me, knowing that you've been thinking of me and that you appreciate what I've done here." "I'm glad you received it," Allie replied. It was important for me to reach out and acknowledge the impact our time together had on my life. Seeing the lake house again was a powerful reminder of the love we shared. Noah looked at Allie with a mixture of gratitude and understanding. It was a significant part of our lives, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm happy to see that you're finding happiness in your own way. The sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the lake and creating a serene atmosphere. As they watched the sky change colors, Allie felt a sense of closure and peace. The visit had been an important step in reconciling the past and moving forward. When it was time to say goodbye, Allie and Noah embraced warmly. There was no need for further words. The understanding and respect they had for each other were evident. "I'm glad we had this time together," Allie said, her voice filled with sincerity. "Thank you for everything, Noah." "Noah, I wish you all the best in your journey." "Take care," Allie said as she turned to leave. As she walked away, Allie felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The visit to Seabrook had been a meaningful and emotional experience, but it had also been a reaffirmation of the new chapter she was embarking on with Lon. The lake house, with its renewed beauty and the memories it held, would always be a part of her story, but she was ready to embrace the future with hope and happiness. The train ride back to Raleigh was filled with a sense of tranquility and reflection. Allie felt grateful for the opportunity to reconnect with the past and to see Noah thriving. As the train moved through the countryside, she looked forward to the future with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart full of hope. The sun had dipped below the horizon, casting a twilight glow over the lake house and its surroundings. The soft light reflected on the water, creating a serene, almost magical atmosphere. Allie stood on the porch of the lake house, taking in the beauty of the scene. She had returned for one final visit, a chance to say goodbye to the past and find closure before fully embracing her future. Noah had agreed to meet her for one last reunion at the lake house, and as the minutes ticked by, Allie felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The house, now beautifully restored, stood as a testament to the love and memories they had shared. The anticipation of seeing Noah again stirred emotions she had tried to compartmentalize over the years. A soft knock on the door jolted Allie from her reverie. She opened it to find Noah standing there, his face illuminated by the dim light of the porch. His expression was a blend of apprehension and warmth, mirroring her own feelings. "Hi, Noah," Allie said, her voice trembling slightly. "Noah," Noah replied, his voice filled with emotion. "It's good to see you again." They embraced, a hug filled with the weight of the years they had spent apart. The moment was both tender and bittersweet, a reminder of the connection they once shared. As they pulled away, Noah invited her inside, and they settled into the familiar living room. The house was as inviting as it had been during their summer together, its restored beauty capturing the essence of the past while embracing a new chapter. The fireplace crackled softly, casting a warm glow over the room. They sat across from each other, the conversation flowing easily as they reminisced about the summer they had spent together and the time that had passed since. There was a sense of comfort in their shared history, and the conversation was interspersed with laughter and moments of quiet reflection. "I've missed this place," Allie said, glancing around the room. "It's like coming back to a piece of my past." Noah nodded. Restoring the house has been a journey of reconnecting with those memories. It's been healing in many ways. They talked about their lives since they last saw each other, Allie's experiences with Lon and the life they had built together, and Noah's efforts to restore the lake house and the personal growth he had achieved. There was an understanding between them, a recognition of the paths they had taken and the lives they had created. As the evening progressed, Noah suggested they take a walk down to the lake. The air was crisp and cool, and the stars began to twinkle in the clear night sky. They strolled along the water's edge, the sounds of the night creating a peaceful backdrop. "This place holds so many memories," Noah said, his voice soft. "It's where we dreamed our dreams and shared our hopes." Allie looked out over the water, the memories of their summer together flooding back. "It was a special time in my life. It shaped who I am and what I value." They reached a small clearing near the lake, where a wooden bench overlooked the water. They sat down, taking in the tranquil view. The night was still, and the reflection of the moonlight on the lake created a serene, almost otherworldly ambience. "Do you ever think about what might have been?" Noah asked, his voice filled with a mixture of curiosity and vulnerability. Allie took a deep breath, considering his question. "Sometimes. But I've come to realize that our time together was a part of our journey, not the end of it. It helped me understand what I wanted and what I needed." Noah nodded thoughtfully. "I feel the same way. Our time together was meaningful, and it helped me grow in ways I didn't expect." The silence that followed was comfortable, filled with the shared understanding of their past and the acceptance of their separate paths. Allie reached out and took Noah's hand, a gesture of connection and acknowledgement. "I'm grateful for what we had, Noah," Allie said quietly. "And I'm thankful for the opportunity to see you and this place again." Noah squeezed her hand gently. "Me too, Allie. I'm glad we could have this moment. It means a lot to me." As they sat together, the weight of the past seemed to lift, replaced by a sense of peace and closure. The reunion was a chance to honor their shared memories and to acknowledge the journey they had taken since their time together. Eventually, the chill of the night and the late hour prompted them to head back inside. They returned to the warmth of the living room, where they continued to talk and reminisce. The evening was filled with heartfelt conversations, laughter, and a renewed sense of connection. As the night drew to a close, Allie and Noah shared a final, heartfelt embrace. The moment was filled with gratitude and understanding, a recognition of the significance of their time together and the new paths they had forged. "I'll cherish this visit," Allie said, her voice filled with sincerity. "Thank you for everything, Noah." "Thank you, Allie," Noah replied. "For being a part of my life and for this moment of closure." With a final wave, Allie left the lake house, her heart full of mixed emotions. The reunion had been a meaningful and emotional experience, allowing her to honor the past while looking forward to the future. As she drove away from Seabrook, Allie felt a sense of peace and contentment, ready to embrace the new chapter of her life with Lon. The lake house, with its restored beauty and the memories it held, would always be a cherished part of her story. And as she moved forward, Allie carried with her the lessons and the love of the past, embracing the future with hope and gratitude. The night was quiet and still, the serene calm that often precedes a storm. Allie had spent the evening reminiscing with Noah and had planned to return to her lodging in town. The storm had been forecasted, but its arrival had been quicker than expected. Dark clouds had gathered ominously, and the wind began to pick up, bringing with it the promise of rain. As Allie prepared to leave, the first drops began to fall, quickly intensifying into a torrential downpour. Noah watched from the porch, concern etched on his face as he saw the storm's fury unfold. He stepped outside, rain drenching his coat, and approached Allie, who was struggling to get to her car. "Looks like we're in for quite a storm," Noah called over the roar of the rain. "It's probably not safe to drive in this." Allie nodded, her expression reflecting both the severity of the weather and her uncertainty. "I didn't expect it to get this bad. What should we do?" Noah took her hand, his touch warm despite the cold rain. "Why don't you stay here tonight? The storm is only going to get worse, and it's safer to wait it out." Allie hesitated for a moment, then nodded in agreement. "All right. Thank you, Noah." Noah led her back inside the house, where they both dripped water onto the floor. They quickly changed into dry clothes and settled into the living room, the comforting warmth of the house a stark contrast to the storm raging outside. The storm battered the house with fierce winds and heavy rain, the sound creating a rhythmic, almost hypnotic backdrop. The crackling fireplace provided a cozy glow, and Noah stoked the fire, adding a few more logs to keep it blazing warmly. As they sat together, the atmosphere in the room shifted from the tension of the storm to a more intimate, reflective mood. They talked about their lives and the decisions that had brought them to this moment, their words interspersed with the occasional crackle of the fire and the pounding of the rain. The conversation gradually turned to more personal matters, the vulnerability of the night allowing them to open up in ways they hadn't before. They shared their deepest fears, regrets, and hopes for the future. The emotional intimacy of the night, combined with the storm's isolating effect, created a powerful environment for reconnecting. "You know," Noah said, his voice soft and contemplative, "I never thought I'd have the chance to revisit our past like this. It's been such a long time, and seeing you again has brought back so many memories." Allie looked at him, her eyes reflecting the flickering firelight. "I feel the same way. This night, the storm, it's all so surreal. It's like the past and present are merging." Noah took Allie's hand in his gaze steady and sincere. "Being here with you, sharing this moment, it feels right. It's bringing back feelings I thought I'd long since moved past." The room seemed to close in around them, the storm outside creating a cocoon of intimacy. Noah leaned in, his expression tender and filled with longing. Allie met his gaze, her heart pounding as she felt the connection between them deepen. In a gentle, unspoken agreement, their lips met in a kiss that was both passionate and tender. The kiss was a rekindling of the love they had once shared, a bridge between the past and the present. It was as if the storm outside had washed away the barriers that had kept them apart, leaving only the raw, unfiltered emotions they had once felt. The kiss lingered, each touch and caress a reminder of the deep connection they had shared. As they pulled away, they gazed into each other's eyes, the storm outside seeming to fade into the background. The warmth of the fire and the closeness of the moment created a sense of intimacy and comfort that felt both familiar and new. Noah wrapped his arms around Allie, holding her close as they sat together on the couch. The storm raged on, its fury contrasting with the calm and warmth of the room. They talked and laughed softly, sharing stories and dreams as if no time had passed at all. As the night wore on, the intensity of the storm began to wane, the rain easing into a steady drizzle. The sound of the storm was now a gentle backdrop to their conversations, a reminder of the night's emotional journey. Eventually, they fell into a comfortable silence, the contentment of their shared moments filling the space between them. Noah gently brushed a strand of hair from Allie's face, his touch tender and affectionate. "This night has been incredible," Allie said softly. "I never expected it to turn out like this." "Neither did I," Noah replied, his voice equally soft. "But I'm grateful for it. It's given us a chance to reconnect in a way that feels so meaningful." As the storm outside continued to dwindle, the first light of dawn began to filter through the windows. The room was bathed in a soft, early morning glow, and Noah and Allie remained close, savoring the peace and intimacy of the moment. "I think the storm is finally letting up," Allie said, glancing out the window at the light rain. Noah nodded, his gaze lingering on her with affection. "It's a beautiful sight. The storm may have brought us back together, but it's also given us a chance to appreciate what we have." As the first light of day illuminated the lake house, Allie and Noah knew that their reunion had been a significant and emotional experience. The storm had been a catalyst for rekindling their love, a reminder of the connection they had shared and the feelings that had never truly disappeared. As they prepared for the day ahead, there was a sense of contentment and closure. The storm had brought them together, and their time spent reconnecting had been a precious gift. With the rain easing and the promise of a new day, Allie and Noah embraced the morning with hope and a renewed sense of understanding. The morning after the storm, the lake house was enveloped in a serene stillness. The rain had ceased, leaving behind a glistening landscape and a refreshing calm. As the first rays of sunlight streamed through the windows, Noah and Allie lingered in the living room, savoring the warmth and the comfort of their unexpected reunion. Over a simple breakfast of coffee and pastries, they sat together at the kitchen table, the soft morning light casting a gentle glow on their faces. The previous night had been emotionally charged, and now, with the storm behind them, it was time to confront the feelings that had resurfaced. Noah glanced at Allie, his expression thoughtful. "Last night was intense. I didn't expect to feel such a powerful connection again. It's like everything from the past came rushing back." Allie nodded, her gaze steady as she took a sip of her coffee. "I felt the same way. It's as if the storm brought out emotions I thought I had buried. Being here with you, talking about the past, it made me realize how much I still care." Noah reached across the table, taking Allie's hand in his. "There's something I need to tell you. I've been carrying it with me for a long time. After we parted ways, I struggled to move on. I wrote those letters, but when they went unanswered, I felt like I was left with unresolved feelings." Allie's eyes softened, a mix of regret and understanding in her expression. "I'm sorry, Noah. I didn't mean to hurt you. At the time, I was caught up in the expectations and pressures of my life. I thought I was making the right choices, but I realize now how much I let go." Noah squeezed her hand gently. "I understand. We were both young and faced with difficult choices. It wasn't just about the letters, it was about the fact that we were pulled apart by circumstances beyond our control. Allie took a deep breath, her voice filled with emotion. "I've thought about you so many times over the years. There were moments when I wondered what could have been if things had been different. But I also have to acknowledge that my life with Lon has been meaningful and fulfilling in its own way." Noah nodded, his eyes reflecting a mix of understanding and melancholy. "I've had my share of doubts and regrets too. The time we spent together was precious, and it shaped who I am today. But I've also come to terms with the fact that we each followed our own paths." There was a pause as they both absorbed the weight of their confessions. The morning light filtered through the windows, illuminating the room with a sense of clarity and new beginnings. "I need to tell you something else," Allie said softly, her gaze fixed on Noah. "The love we shared, it was real and profound. But I've also learned that love isn't always about holding on to the past. It's about moving forward and finding happiness in the present." Noah's expression was one of quiet contemplation. "I agree. The love we had was a beautiful part of our lives, but it's important to recognize that we've grown and changed. Our experiences have led us to where we are now, and we have to honor that." Allie's eyes filled with tears, but her smile was genuine. "I'm grateful for this chance to reconnect, to revisit our past and understand it more fully. But I also know that we have to look forward and embrace the futures we've chosen." Noah reached out and gently wiped away a tear from Allie's cheek. "I feel the same way. I'm thankful for our time together, and I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk and be honest with each other. It's given me a sense of closure and peace." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the weight of their confessions hanging in the air. The lake house, with its tranquil surroundings and the remnants of the storm, provided a perfect backdrop for their heartfelt conversation. As the morning progressed, they decided to take one last walk around the lake. The rain had left behind a lush, vibrant landscape, and the air was fresh and invigorating. They strolled along the path, the peacefulness of the surroundings mirroring the sense of closure and resolution they had found in their conversation. "It's amazing how a storm can bring about such change," Allie said, her voice filled with a sense of wonder. "It's like it cleared the way for us to see things more clearly." Noah smiled, his gaze focused on the shimmering lake. "Sometimes, it takes a storm to bring us back to what really matters. We've both learned and grown from our experiences, and now we can move forward with a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other." As they reached a small clearing by the lake, they paused to take in the view. The sun was shining brightly, casting a warm, golden light over the water. It was a fitting end to their emotional journey, a reminder of the beauty and clarity that could emerge from difficult times. "Noah," Allie said softly, turning to face him, "thank you for everything. For the memories, the understanding, and the chance to reconnect." "No, thank you, Allie," Noah replied, his voice filled with sincerity. "For being a part of my life and for this moment of clarity. It means more than you know." As they stood together by the lake, the sense of closure and acceptance filled the space between them. They had confronted their past, shared their feelings, and found a new perspective on their lives. With the storm behind them and the promise of a new day ahead, Noah and Allie embraced the future with a sense of peace and hope. The walk back to the lake house was filled with a quiet, mutual understanding. As Allie prepared to leave, they exchanged one last, heartfelt embrace. The connection between them was now grounded in acceptance and appreciation, a testament to the enduring bond they had shared. As Allie drove away from Seabrook, she looked back at the lake house, feeling a sense of gratitude and fulfillment. The confessions and the time spent together had provided the closure she needed, allowing her to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and happiness. The past was a cherished part of her journey, but the future was where her heart lay. Noah watched as Allie's car disappeared down the road, a sense of contentment and resolution settling over him. The lake house, with its restored beauty and the memories it held, would always be a significant part of his story. And as he turned back towards the house, he embraced the new chapter of his life with hope and a deep appreciation for the journey he had shared with Allie. The return to her everyday life was both jarring and reflective for Allie. The serenity of the lake house and the emotional intensity of her reunion with Noah had left a profound mark on her. As she settled back into her routine, the weight of her recent experiences became increasingly apparent. The clarity she had found in Seabrook now faced the harsh reality of her present life with Lon. Allie's apartment was a stark contrast to the tranquility of the lake house. The walls were adorned with photos of her life with Lon, happy moments and milestones that painted a picture of a stable, loving relationship. Yet, the memories of her time with Noah and the depth of their connection lingered in her mind, stirring feelings she thought had long been resolved. One evening, as she sat at her kitchen table, her thoughts were interrupted by a phone call from Lon. His voice was warm and reassuring, a reminder of the life they had built together. "Hey, Allie. How was your trip?" Lon asked. "It was eventful," Allie replied, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Lon noticed the hesitation in her tone. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just some things on my mind," she said, trying to sound casual. "I've been doing a lot of thinking lately." Lon's concern was palpable. "You know you can talk to me about anything. What's going on?" Allie hesitated, the weight of her emotions pressing heavily on her. "It's just, I've had some significant experiences recently that have made me reassess things. It's complicated." "Complicated how?" Lon asked gently. "I've been reflecting on my past and what I truly want," Allie said, struggling to find the right words. "It's brought up a lot of feelings and questions about where I am now and where I want to be." There was a pause on the other end of the line. Lon's voice was calm but concerned. "I understand. Maybe we should talk more about this when you're ready. It's important to figure out what's best for both of us." "I agree," Allie said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll need some time to work through everything." As she ended the call, Allie felt a surge of anxiety and sadness. The decision she faced was not only difficult but also deeply personal. Her time with Noah had rekindled old emotions and prompted her to question the path she had been on with Lon. The following days were marked by sleepless nights and constant internal debates. Allie found herself at a crossroads, torn between two significant relationships in her life. Her thoughts drifted back to the summer she had spent with Noah, the passion, the connection, the dreams they had shared. Yet, her life with Lon was filled with stability, comfort, and love. One afternoon, she decided to take a walk through a nearby park, hoping the fresh air and solitude would help clear her mind. As she wandered along the paths, she reflected on her feelings for both men and what each relationship represented in her life. Her thoughts were interrupted when she saw Noah standing by a pond in the park, his gaze focused on the water. He looked up, surprised to see her, but his expression softened as he approached her. "Allie," Noah said, his voice gentle. "I didn't expect to see you here. I needed to get out, clear my head," Allie replied, her voice tinged with emotion. "I've been thinking a lot about everything." Noah nodded, his expression one of understanding. "I can imagine. It's been a whirlwind of emotions for both of us." They stood in silence for a moment, the tranquility of the park offering a peaceful backdrop for their conversation. "Noah," Allie began, her voice wavering, "I've been facing a tough decision. My life with Lon is stable and loving, but my time with you has brought up feelings I thought were long gone. I'm struggling to reconcile these two parts of my life." Noah's eyes were filled with empathy. "I understand. It's not easy to navigate these emotions, especially when they involve people you care about deeply." Allie took a deep breath, her eyes meeting Noah's. "I've been trying to figure out what I truly want. The time we spent together was special, and it made me realize how important it is to be honest with myself about my feelings." Noah reached out, gently taking her hand. "You need to do what's right for you, Allie. Follow your heart and make the choice that will bring you the most fulfillment and happiness." Allie's eyes glistened with tears. "It's just so hard. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I also don't want to live with regrets." Noah squeezed her hand reassuringly. "No matter what you decide, know that it's okay to prioritize your own happiness. Life is about finding balance and making choices that align with who you are." The conversation left Allie feeling both comforted and conflicted. She knew she needed to take some time to make her decision, but the clarity she sought was still elusive. Noah's support and understanding had helped her process her feelings, but the choice she faced remained profoundly personal. As she left the park, Allie felt a renewed sense of determination to confront her emotions and make a decision that was true to herself. The path ahead was uncertain, but she was resolved to approach it with honesty and self-reflection. The decision she faced was one of the most significant of her life, and it required careful consideration of her own desires and values. As she prepared to meet Lon and discuss their future, Allie knew that the choice she made would shape the course of her life moving forward. With a heavy heart and a clear mind, Allie approached the next steps with the hope of finding resolution and peace. The journey ahead was one of self-discovery and courage, and she was ready to embrace it with an open heart. The decision was made, and Allie knew it was time to face the inevitable. The emotional journey she had embarked upon had brought her clarity, and now she had to act on it. She had spent countless hours reflecting on her feelings and the direction her life should take. Her time with Noah had stirred emotions that could no longer be ignored, and she had come to realize that she needed to follow her heart, even if it meant making a painful choice. Lon's apartment was cozy and well-kept, a reflection of the stable life they had built together. The evening light filtered through the curtains, casting a warm, comforting glow over the room. Allie arrived early, her heart heavy with the weight of the conversation she was about to have. She had planned this meeting with the hope that it would be as gentle as possible, but she knew it would be anything but easy. Lon greeted her with a smile, his demeanor warm and welcoming. "Hey, Allie. I'm glad you're here. I've been thinking about our last conversation. Are you feeling any better?" Allie forced a smile, but her heart was aching. "I'm feeling more clear about things, Lon. I've done a lot of thinking, and I think it's important that we talk." Lon's expression turned to one of concern. "Sure, let's sit down. What's on your mind?" They settled into the living room, and Lon looked at her expectantly. Allie took a deep breath, trying to steady her emotions. She had rehearsed what she wanted to say, but now, with the moment upon her, the words felt like they were caught in her throat. "Lon," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "I've been reflecting a lot on our relationship and my recent experiences. I've realized that I need to be honest with both of us about where I stand." Lon's face grew serious, a hint of apprehension in his eyes. "Okay, Allie. I'm listening." Allie took another deep breath, her gaze meeting Lon's with a mixture of sadness and resolve. "I've come to understand that I have unresolved feelings from my past, and those feelings have resurfaced in a way that's made me reevaluate everything. I've been thinking a lot about what I want for my future, and I've come to a difficult decision." Lon's expression became more tense, the weight of her words sinking in. "What are you trying to say, Allie?" "I need to be honest with you," Allie continued, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "I've realized that I need to follow my heart, and that means making a very difficult choice. I think it's best for us to end our relationship." The words hung heavily in the air, and Lon's face reflected a mix of shock and hurt. "End our relationship? Why now? What happened?" Allie's eyes were filled with tears as she struggled to explain. "I've been grappling with my feelings for a long time. My time with Noah brought back emotions and realizations that I can't ignore. I've come to understand that I need to explore those feelings and find out where they lead me. It's not fair to either of us to continue in a relationship where my heart is not fully committed." Lon looked down, trying to process her words. "So, this is about Noah?" "It's not just about him," Allie said softly. "It's about understanding what I truly want and need. I don't want to lead you on or stay in a relationship where I'm not fully present. You deserve someone who is completely committed to you, and I need to be honest about my own feelings." Lon's expression was one of pain and disbelief. "I thought we had a future together, Allie. We've built a life. This isn't how I imagined it ending." Allie's voice was filled with regret. "I didn't want it to end like this either. But staying together when my heart isn't fully in it would only lead to more hurt in the long run. I owe it to both of us to be honest and to face the truth." There was a long silence as Lon absorbed her words. The warmth of the room felt starkly contrasting to the emotional chill between them. Lon finally looked up, his eyes showing a mixture of sadness and acceptance. "All right," he said quietly, his voice tinged with resignation. "If this is what you need to do, then I understand." It doesn't make it any easier, but I get it. Allie nodded, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry, Lon. I never wanted to hurt you. You've been a wonderful partner, and I will always value the time we've spent together. Lon stood up, his demeanor subdued. I need some time to process this. I hope you find what you're looking for, Allie. As they parted, Allie felt a profound sense of sorrow and loss. The end of her relationship with Lon was a painful but necessary step toward finding clarity and fulfillment in her own life. She left his apartment with a heavy heart, knowing that the decision she had made was the right one for her, even though it came with significant emotional costs. In the days that followed, Allie focused on her own journey of self-discovery. She continued to reflect on her time with Noah and the impact it had on her understanding of love and relationships. The path ahead was uncertain, but she was determined to move forward with honesty and a renewed sense of purpose. The breakup had been a difficult choice, but it was a crucial step in her quest to follow her heart and embrace the future she truly desired. The days following Allie's breakup with Lon were filled with emotional turbulence, but they also marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. With the decision made and the path ahead clear, Allie focused on moving forward, ready to embrace the future she had always dreamed of. The process of healing and rediscovery began in earnest, setting the stage for a new chapter with Noah. Allie and Noah's reunion had rekindled a spark that neither of them could ignore. They had shared deep conversations and meaningful moments, and now they were ready to explore what their future together could look like. With both of them committed to this new beginning, they set out to build a life together, one that was grounded in their renewed connection and mutual understanding. One crisp autumn afternoon, Allie drove to Seabrook, her heart filled with anticipation and hope. The fall foliage painted the landscape in vibrant hues of red and gold, mirroring the excitement and promise of their new journey. Noah was waiting for her at the lake house, a place that had become a symbol of their rekindled love and shared dreams. As Allie arrived, Noah greeted her with a warm embrace. Hey, Allie. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Noah, Allie replied, her voice brimming with affection. I've been looking forward to this. They spent the afternoon exploring the area around the lake house, enjoying the picturesque scenery and each other's company. The tranquility of the lake and the crisp autumn air provided a perfect backdrop for their discussions about the future. As they sat on the porch, looking out over the shimmering lake, Noah turned to Allie with a hopeful expression. I've been thinking a lot about what we talked about. I want us to have a future together, but I also want to make sure we're both on the same page about what that looks like. Allie nodded, her gaze focused on the water. I've been thinking about that too. I want us to build a life that reflects both of our dreams and values. I know it won't be easy, but I believe we can make it work if we're honest and committed. Noah reached out and took Allie's hand, his touch reassuring. I agree. I've been thinking about ways we can start planning for our future. It's important to me that we build something meaningful and lasting. They spent the rest of the afternoon discussing their hopes and aspirations. They talked about their individual goals and how they could support each other in achieving them. Their conversations ranged from practical matters like finding a new home to more personal dreams, such as traveling and exploring new interests together. One topic that came up was the idea of blending their lives in a way that honored both their pasts and their future. Noah suggested they start by making some practical changes, such as finding a new place to live that would be a fresh start for both of them. Allie, Noah said thoughtfully, I've been thinking about the lake house. It's been a significant place for us, but I also think it might be time for us to create new memories in a different setting. What do you think about starting fresh somewhere new? Allie smiled, her heart warmed by Noah's thoughtfulness. I think that's a great idea. It would be exciting to find a place that's just ours, where we can build our new life together. And we can always come back to the lake house to visit and remember our beginnings. They spent the next few weeks exploring different neighborhoods and looking at potential homes. The process was both thrilling and challenging, but they approached it with a sense of adventure and optimism. They found a charming house in a nearby town, one that felt right for their new chapter. It had a cozy feel and plenty of space for their future together. As they settled into their new home, Allie and Noah took time to appreciate the small victories and the joy of starting anew. They spent weekends decorating and making the space their own, creating a home that was a reflection of their shared dreams and love. Their plans extended beyond just finding a home. They began to discuss their future in broader terms, including their career aspirations and personal goals. They supported each other in pursuing their passions and interests, always finding ways to integrate their individual dreams into their shared vision for the future. One evening, as they sat together in their new living room, surrounded by the warmth of their home and the comfort of their shared dreams, Noah looked at Allie with a sense of contentment. I'm so happy we're starting this new chapter together, he said softly. It feels like everything has come full circle, and I'm excited for what lies ahead. Allie smiled, her eyes shining with love and gratitude. Me too, Noah. This feels right. I'm ready to build a future with you and create new memories that we can cherish. As they embraced, the sense of hope and possibility filled the room. The journey ahead was filled with promise and excitement, and they were ready to face it together, hand in hand. The new beginnings they had dreamed of were now becoming a reality, and they were prepared to embrace every moment with love and anticipation. Their future was bright, and the love they had rediscovered was a testament to their commitment to each other. With their hearts full of hope and their spirits high, Noah and Allie embarked on their new journey, ready to build a life that was as beautiful and enduring as their love. The sun cast a warm, golden light over the quaint house that Noah and Allie had chosen as their new home. It was a beautiful, crisp autumn day, the kind that seemed to promise the best of what life had to offer. Inside, the house was alive with the sounds of their daily routine, laughter, conversation, and the occasional clatter of dishes as they settled into their new life together. The mornings began with the comforting aroma of coffee brewing in the kitchen, a ritual that had become a cherished part of their day. Allie and Noah enjoyed these quiet moments together, sitting at their small kitchen table and sharing their plans for the day. It was a simple pleasure, but it symbolized the normalcy and intimacy they had longed for in their shared life. One Saturday morning, Allie was busy decorating the living room with autumnal accents, pumpkins, fall leaves, and warm-toned throws. Noah was on the ladder, hanging a new set of curtains, his movements efficient and practiced. The room was starting to feel like a true reflection of their personalities, a blend of cozy and vibrant, just like their relationship, do you think the curtains are high enough? Noah called down, his tone light. Allie stepped back to assess the height. They look perfect, Noah. Everything is coming together beautifully. Noah smiled and climbed down, giving her a quick kiss on the cheek. I'm glad you think so. I want this place to feel like home for both of us. Their home was more than just a place to live, it was a canvas for their new life. Each room was a testament to their shared dreams and the love they had for one another. They took joy in choosing furniture together, arranging artwork on the walls, and even planting a small garden in the backyard. One afternoon, as they worked in the garden, planting a variety of flowers and herbs, Noah looked at Allie with a sense of contentment. I've always wanted a garden, but I never imagined it would be like this, planting it with you, making it our own. Allie smiled, her hands covered in soil as she worked beside him. It feels wonderful, Noah. I've dreamed of having a garden too, and it's even better now that we're building it together. Their days were filled with a blend of routine and spontaneity. They enjoyed exploring their new town, discovering local cafes and bookstores, and taking long walks in the nearby parks. Each new experience was a chance for them to grow closer and build memories in their new home. In the evenings, they often cooked dinner together, experimenting with new recipes and enjoying the process of creating meals as a team. Their kitchen became a place of laughter and creativity, where they bonded over their shared love of cooking. One evening, as they prepared a meal of homemade pasta and garlic bread, Noah looked at Allie with a playful grin. You know, I think we make a pretty good team in the kitchen. Allie laughed, stirring the sauce in a pot. I'd say so. Especially since you're the master of the garlic bread. I'm still working on perfecting that. Noah winked at her. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. We've got a lot of cooking adventures ahead of us. Their weekends often included small projects around the house, painting a room, rearranging furniture, or planning for future improvements. Each task was approached with enthusiasm and a sense of partnership. On Sundays, they enjoyed relaxing together, whether it was curled up on the couch watching movies or taking leisurely drives through the countryside. These moments of relaxation were a reminder of the balance they had found in their life together. Between work, play, and rest, their social life also blossomed as they made new friends in their town. They hosted small gatherings and dinners, welcoming neighbors and old friends into their home. The house quickly became known for its warmth and hospitality, a reflection of the love and care Noah and Allie had poured into it. As the months passed, their relationship continued to deepen. They supported each other through various challenges and celebrated each success, no matter how small. Their life together was filled with the kind of joy and fulfillment that came from knowing they had found something truly special. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, Allie rested her head on Noah's shoulder, feeling a profound sense of peace. The sky was painted in shades of pink and orange, a perfect end to another day in their life together. This has been the most amazing time of my life, Allie said softly, her voice filled with contentment. I'm so grateful for everything we've built together. Noah kissed the top of her head, his heart full. Me too, Allie. Every day with you feels like a blessing. I can't imagine my life any other way. Their journey had been marked by challenges and decisions, but it had led them to a place of true happiness and fulfillment. The love they had rekindled was now the foundation of their life together, and they faced the future with a sense of hope and excitement that in their new home, surrounded by the warmth of their shared dreams and the love they had for each other, Noah and Allie embarked on a new chapter, ready to embrace whatever life had in store. Their life together was a testament to the power of love, commitment, and the beauty of new beginnings. Years passed, and the vibrant house that Noah and Allie had once transformed with their youthful energy now bore the marks of a life well lived. The garden they had lovingly tended had matured, the flowers and herbs now flourishing in a testament to their shared dedication. The walls, once adorned with the fresh memories of their early days together, now showcased photographs and mementos of a lifetime of experiences. The changes in their lives had been gradual but significant. As they grew older, the once sharp edges of their youthful romance had softened into a deeper, more enduring love. The challenges they faced were a natural part of their journey, but they navigated them with the same partnership and commitment that had defined their relationship from the beginning. One crisp autumn morning, Allie and Noah sat together on their porch, wrapped in blankets against the chill. The golden leaves of the trees swirled in the breeze, creating a picturesque backdrop for their quiet conversation. "I can't believe how quickly time has flown by," Allie said softly, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "It feels like just yesterday we were starting our life together in this house." Noah smiled, his hand resting comfortably in hers. "It does seem like it went by in the blink of an eye. But looking back, I'm grateful for every moment we've shared." Their daily routines had evolved over the years, becoming a reflection of their growing needs and changing circumstances. They had downsized some of their responsibilities, opting for simpler pleasures and focusing on what truly mattered to them. Their home had been adapted to accommodate their aging bodies, with accessibility features and a layout designed for comfort and ease. One aspect of their life together that had remained constant was their love for each other. Even as physical challenges became more prevalent, their emotional connection continued to deepen. They found joy in the small moments: morning coffee together, evening walks in the garden, and quiet evenings spent reminiscing. As Noah approached his late 70s, he had begun to experience the effects of age on his health. He had developed a few chronic conditions that required regular medical attention. Though these changes were a source of concern, Allie remained a steadfast source of support, attending appointments with him and ensuring that he received the care he needed. One afternoon, after a visit to the doctor, Allie and Noah sat together in their cozy living room. Noah looked tired but content, his hand resting on Allie's. "You know, this isn't exactly how I imagined growing old," Noah said with a chuckle. "But I wouldn't trade it for anything." Allie smiled, her eyes filled with affection. "Neither would I. We've faced our share of challenges, but we've done it together. And that makes all the difference." They continued to find joy in their shared activities, even if they had to adapt them to their changing abilities. They enjoyed reading books together, sharing their favorite passages and discussing their meanings. They also took pleasure in their gardening, though they now relied on a garden service to help with the more strenuous tasks. Their relationship had evolved to encompass not just the passion of their youth but also a deep sense of companionship and understanding. They had weathered the storms of life together, and their bond had only grown stronger. Their love had become a source of comfort and strength, a foundation upon which they built their life. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, they reflected on the many years they had spent together. The sky was painted in hues of pink and orange, a familiar and cherished sight. "Allie," Noah said softly, his voice tinged with emotion, "do you remember when we first moved into this house? It feels like a lifetime ago." Allie nodded, her heart full. "I remember it well. We were so full of hope and dreams. And now, looking back, I realize we've lived those dreams. We've built a beautiful life together." Noah took her hand, his grip gentle but firm. "I've never regretted a single moment. Even the tough times were worth it because we faced them together." Their love had weathered the passage of time, evolving from the passionate beginnings of their youth to a deep and abiding companionship. As they grew older, they continued to find new ways to cherish each other, whether it was through shared experiences, quiet moments of reflection, or simply being present for one another. In their later years, they had come to appreciate the beauty of their journey, a journey marked by love, resilience, and the joy of growing old together. Their life was a testament to the power of enduring love, and as they looked back on their shared experiences, they did so with gratitude and a sense of fulfillment. Noah and Allie's life together was a rich tapestry of memories, challenges, and joys. Their love had been a constant source of strength and inspiration, guiding them through the highs and lows of their journey. As they continued to grow old together, they embraced each day with a sense of contentment, knowing that their love had created a life that was truly meaningful and beautiful. The autumn leaves had fallen, leaving a carpet of gold and crimson around the house that Noah and Allie had made their home. The crisp air was filled with the sense of the season, but inside, there was a subtle shift in the atmosphere, a quiet tension that came with the arrival of Allie's diagnosis. It began with small, unsettling signs, misplaced keys, forgotten appointments, and moments of confusion. Allie, ever the vibrant and sharp-minded woman, was aware of these changes and initially tried to brush them off. But as the months went by, the symptoms became more pronounced, and Noah knew it was time to seek medical advice. The diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease was a heavy blow. The doctor had explained the nature of the illness, the gradual loss of memory and cognitive function, and Noah had listened with a heart full of worry. It was a difficult reality to face, but he resolved to support Allie with all the love and strength he could muster. The initial stages of Allie's illness were marked by a mixture of frustration and resignation. She struggled with memory lapses and occasional disorientation, and the disease began to take its toll on her daily life. Noah adapted their routines to help her navigate these changes, incorporating simple reminders and adjusting their environment to make it easier for Allie to feel comfortable and secure. One afternoon, as they sat in their cozy living room, Allie looked at Noah with a confused expression. "Where are we going for dinner tonight? I can't seem to remember." Noah's heart ached at the sight of her distress. He took her hand gently. "It's okay, Allie. We're not going anywhere tonight. I thought we'd just have a quiet evening at home. I made your favorite stew." Allie's eyes softened, and she gave him a small, appreciative smile. "Thank you, Noah. I'm sorry for being forgetful." "There's nothing to apologize for," Noah reassured her. "We'll get through this together." As the disease progressed, the challenges became more significant. Allie's ability to remember recent events and recognize familiar faces began to deteriorate, and Noah found himself taking on more of the responsibilities they had once shared. He learned to be patient and compassionate, adjusting their routines to accommodate her needs. One day, while they were taking a walk in the garden, Allie paused and looked at the flowers with a sense of wonder. "They're so beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen them like this before." Noah smiled, his heart heavy but hopeful. "You've always loved this garden, Allie. It's been a part of our lives for so long." Allie's eyes clouded over with a mixture of confusion and joy. "I wish I could remember everything we've shared here." Noah wrapped an arm around her shoulders, guiding her gently along the path. "You don't have to remember everything. What matters is that we're here together, and we'll continue to make new memories, even if they're different from before." In their daily life, Noah became adept at finding ways to help Allie retain a sense of normalcy and comfort. He kept detailed journals of their activities and shared stories with her to provide a sense of continuity. They developed a system of cues and reminders to assist with her daily routines, and Noah worked to ensure that their home remained a haven of peace and familiarity. Despite the difficulties, there were moments of profound connection and tenderness. Allie's occasional moments of clarity were cherished, and Noah found solace in the simple joys they still shared. They continued to enjoy their favorite pastimes, adapting them to fit Allie's changing needs. One evening, as they sat together on the porch, Allie took Noah's hand and looked at him with a moment of clear recognition. "Noah, I know you've been doing so much for me. I want you to know how much I love you." Noah's eyes brimmed with tears as he held her hand tightly. "I love you too, Allie. More than words can express. We'll face this together, every step of the way." The progression of Alzheimer's brought its own set of challenges, and Noah faced each day with a mixture of hope and determination. He sought support from friends and support groups, learning strategies to manage the emotional and practical aspects of caregiving. He also found comfort in the memories they had built together, using them as a source of strength. Allie's illness tested the limits of their love and patience, but it also highlighted the depth of their commitment. Through the struggles and moments of sadness, they continued to find joy in their shared experiences. The love that had sustained them through so many years now became a guiding light, helping them navigate the complexities of their new reality. As the seasons changed and the years went by, Noah and Allie faced each challenge with grace and resilience. Their love remained a constant source of comfort and connection, a reminder of the life they had built together and the enduring bond they shared. In the face of Alzheimer's, Noah's devotion and Allie's enduring spirit created a story of love that transcended the limitations of the disease. Their journey together was a testament to the strength of their relationship and the power of love to endure, even in the face of the most challenging circumstances. The decision to move Allie to a nursing home was one of the hardest choices Noah had ever faced. As her Alzheimer's disease progressed, it became increasingly difficult for him to manage her care at home. Despite his unwavering love and dedication, the reality of Allie's condition necessitated a transition to a professional care facility where she could receive the specialized support she needed. The nursing home they chose was a warm, inviting place, designed to provide comfort and care for its residents. It was nestled in a quiet part of town, surrounded by lush gardens and serene walkways. The staff were compassionate and skilled, and the environment was tailored to create a sense of home for those living there. The day of the move was bittersweet. Noah had spent weeks preparing the transition, ensuring that Allie's new room would be as comforting and personal as possible. He had chosen decorations that reminded her of their life together, framed photographs of their family, cherished items from their home, and a quilt made from fabric swatches they had collected over the years. When they arrived at the nursing home, Noah was determined to make the adjustment as smooth as possible for Allie. He guided her through the entrance, his heart heavy but resolute. Allie looked around with a mixture of curiosity and confusion, but Noah remained by her side, offering reassurance. "This is going to be a new chapter for us, Allie," Noah said gently as they entered her room. "I've made sure it's as familiar and comfortable as I could. We're going to get through this together." Allie looked at him with a touch of uncertainty, her eyes searching his face for understanding. "I trust you, Noah. I know you're doing what's best." Noah smiled, though his heart ached. "I'm here with you, every step of the way." In the days following the move, Noah made it a priority to visit Allie every day. He arrived each morning with a bouquet of fresh flowers, a new book to read to her, or simply to sit by her side and hold her hand. His presence was a constant source of comfort, a reminder of the life they had built together and the love that remained undiminished. That he learned the names of the nursing home staff, building relationships with the caregivers who would be looking after Allie. He took time to discuss her needs and preferences with them, ensuring that her care was personalized and attentive. One afternoon, as Noah sat in Allie's room, he read to her from a book of poetry they had both loved. The familiar verses seemed to bring a moment of clarity to Allie, and she listened intently, her eyes focused on Noah's face. "I remember these poems," Allie said softly, a hint of recognition in her voice. "They remind me of our early days." Noah nodded, his voice gentle. "Yes, they've been a part of our lives for a long time. I thought you might like them." As the days turned into weeks, Noah continued to be a steady presence in Allie's life. He engaged her in activities that she enjoyed, such as gardening in the facility's garden or participating in art classes. He brought her favorite foods and spent time reminiscing about their shared experiences. One evening, as the sun set outside the nursing home window, Noah sat by Allie's bedside, holding her hand. He spoke softly, recounting the stories of their past adventures and the dreams they had once shared. "Allie," Noah said, his voice filled with emotion, "do you remember the time we went on that road trip across the country? We had so many incredible experiences together." Allie's gaze was distant, but a faint smile touched her lips. "I think I do. It was such a special time." Noah squeezed her hand gently. "It was one of the best times of our lives. And no matter what happens, I want you to know that those memories will always be with us." Their days at the nursing home were filled with a mix of challenges and tender moments. Noah's dedication to Allie was unwavering, and his love for her shone through in every interaction. He continued to advocate for her well-being, ensuring that her care was attentive and compassionate. Despite the difficulties of Alzheimer's, Noah and Allie found moments of connection that transcended the illness. Their love endured, and Noah's commitment to Allie was a testament to the strength of their relationship. In the face of uncertainty, they continued to find solace in each other's presence and the shared memories that had shaped their lives. As the seasons changed and time passed, Noah remained by Allie's side, a constant source of love and support. Their journey together was marked by the challenges of Alzheimer's, but it was also defined by the enduring power of their bond. In the nursing home, surrounded by the care and comfort of her new environment, Allie was never alone. Noah's daily visits and unwavering presence provided a sense of continuity and reassurance. Their love story, though altered by the passage of time, continued to be a beacon of hope and resilience. Through the trials and triumphs, Noah's dedication to Allie remained a testament to their enduring love. Their journey together, though marked by hardship, was also filled with moments of grace and connection, a reminder that love, even in its most challenging forms, could continue to bring light and meaning to their lives. The nursing home, with its warm atmosphere and dedicated staff, was a haven for its residents, but it was also a place where stories of love and life intertwined. Among the residents, Noah and Allie's enduring love story became a source of inspiration and solace, touching the lives of those around them in profound ways. As Noah continued his daily visits to Allie, he became known not just for his unwavering dedication, but for the way he shared their love story with others. He often engaged in conversations with fellow residents and their families, recounting tales of his and Allie's journey together, stories of their early days, their adventures, and the deep bond they had built over a lifetime. One afternoon, Noah was sitting in the common room of the nursing home, where a group of residents had gathered for a social activity. He noticed that many of them seemed subdued, their conversations lacking the warmth that usually filled the room. Taking a deep breath, Noah decided to share a bit of his and Allie's story. "Do you all mind if I tell you a story?" Noah asked, his voice gentle but filled with enthusiasm. "It's about the love of my life and me. I think it might brighten up the room." Curiosity sparked among the residents, and they nodded in encouragement. Noah began to recount how he and Allie had met, their first summer together, and the challenges they had faced. His storytelling was infused with warmth and humor, and as he spoke, the room seemed to come alive with a sense of connection. As Noah spoke of their romance, the residents listened intently, their expressions shifting from interest to heartfelt emotion. They were captivated by the way Noah described the simple, yet profound moments they had shared, their first dance, their adventures, and the unwavering support they had provided each other through life's ups and downs. Among the listeners was Eleanor, a resident who had been struggling with her own sense of loneliness. As Noah spoke about Allie's battle with Alzheimer's and his unwavering commitment to her, Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. "That's such a beautiful story," Eleanor said softly, her voice trembling. "It reminds me of the love I once had. It's been a long time since I felt that kind of connection." Noah reached out and took Eleanor's hand, offering a comforting squeeze. Love has a way of touching our hearts, even when we're not expecting it. It's something we all carry with us, and it's never too late to find comfort in those memories. Eleanor nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Thank you for sharing that. It's given me a lot to think about." Noah's story had a ripple effect throughout the nursing home. Residents began to open up about their own experiences, sharing stories of their past loves and cherished memories. The common room became a place of emotional exchange, where residents found solace and inspiration in each other's stories. In the days that followed, Noah noticed a change in the atmosphere of the nursing home. There was a renewed sense of camaraderie and warmth among the residents. They began to engage more deeply in conversations, support one another, and share their own personal histories with greater openness. One evening, as the sun set and the common room was filled with soft, golden light, the nursing home organized a small gathering to celebrate the residents and their stories. Noah and Allie were honored guests, and Noah took the opportunity to express his gratitude. "I want to thank everyone here," Noah said, addressing the room. "Sharing our story has brought so much joy and connection, not just for me and Allie, but for all of us. Your stories and experiences are valuable and meaningful. Love, in all its forms, is a powerful force that connects us and makes life richer." The residents applauded, and there was a palpable sense of unity and appreciation in the room. Noah's and Allie's love story had become more than just a personal narrative. It had become a source of inspiration and a reminder of the beauty of human connection. As time went on, the impact of Noah and Allie's story continued to resonate. The nursing home became a place where residents felt encouraged to celebrate their own lives and relationships, cherishing the moments they had and finding comfort in the shared experiences of those around them. Noah's dedication to Allie, despite the challenges of her illness, had created a legacy of love and resilience that extended beyond their own lives. Their story had touched the hearts of many, reminding everyone that love, in its many forms, was a source of strength, hope, and profound connection. In the nursing home, the power of love became a guiding light, fostering a sense of community and bringing warmth to the lives of its residents. Noah and Allie's journey was a testament to the enduring power of love, and their story continued to inspire and uplift those around them, creating a legacy of compassion and connection that would be cherished for years to come. As the months passed, the roles had subtly shifted. The vibrant energy that Noah had once poured into his visits to Allie began to wane as he faced the challenges of his own health. The aging process, coupled with his relentless devotion to Allie, took a toll on him. His visits to the nursing home, once marked by his boundless enthusiasm, became a testament to the fragility of life and the enduring strength of love. The nursing home, with its calming atmosphere and attentive staff, had become a second home to both Noah and Allie. While Allie's condition had remained relatively stable, Noah's health had begun to decline. He had grown frailer, his movements slower, and his energy more fleeting. Despite these changes, he remained committed to visiting Allie daily, a testament to the love that had defined their life together. One chilly winter morning, Noah arrived at the nursing home with a gentle but noticeable limp. His face was drawn, and there was a weariness in his eyes that spoke of the battles he was fighting. The staff greeted him with their usual warmth, but there was an underlying concern as they noted his condition. "Noah, are you feeling okay today?" asked Laura, one of the caregivers who had grown close to him over the years. Noah offered a reassuring smile, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. "I'm fine, Laura. Just a bit tired. I'm here to see Allie." Laura nodded, her expression filled with sympathy. "We'll keep an eye on you. Please let us know if you need anything." Noah made his way to Allie's room, his steps slow but deliberate. He entered the room to find Allie sitting in her favorite chair by the window, looking out at the snowy landscape. Her face lit up when she saw him, though her recognition was fleeting. "Hi, sweetheart," Noah said softly as he took her hand. "I brought you some fresh flowers. They're just like the ones we used to grow in our garden." Allie's eyes softened as she looked at the bouquet, though she didn't quite recall the significance. "They're lovely. Thank you, Noah." Noah sat beside her, holding her hand in his. He began to recount stories of their past, his voice steady but occasionally faltering. He spoke of their adventures, their joys, and the everyday moments that had woven their lives together. Though Allie's memory was fragmented, she seemed comforted by his presence and the soothing cadence of his voice. As the days went by, Noah's health continued to deteriorate. His visits to the nursing home became more challenging, his strength waning. The caregivers and staff grew increasingly concerned, and they offered to assist him with his visits. Despite their support, Noah insisted on making the journey to be with Allie as often as he could. One afternoon, as Noah struggled to catch his breath, Laura gently suggested that he take a break. "Noah, you need to rest. You've been pushing yourself too hard." Noah shook his head, a mix of determination and frailty in his gaze. "I need to be here for Allie. She needs me." Laura's heart ached at his words, and she nodded, understanding the depth of his devotion. "We'll be here to support you, Noah. Please let us help in any way we can." Noah's visits grew shorter, but his presence remained a constant source of solace for Allie. The moments they shared were filled with quiet affection, a testament to the love that had sustained them through so many years. Noah would often rest in a chair beside her, holding her hand and recounting their shared memories, even as he struggled with his own health. In the final days, Noah's condition worsened. He became bedridden, his strength fading. The nursing home staff and family members rallied around him, providing care and comfort. Noah's concern for Allie remained unwavering, even as his own life drew to a close. One evening, Noah, pale and frail, looked at Allie with a mixture of sadness and love. "Allie, I need you to know how much I love you. You've been my everything, and I'm so grateful for every moment we've shared." Allie looked at him with a touch of confusion, but her eyes were filled with a deep, abiding affection. "I love you too, Noah. Always." Noah's final moments were peaceful, surrounded by the love and support of those he cared for. His passing was a profound loss, but his life had been a testament to the enduring power of love. His legacy was one of devotion, compassion, and the unbreakable bond he had shared with Allie. In the nursing home, the impact of Noah's love story was deeply felt. His unwavering commitment to Allie had inspired both residents and staff. The story of their love, marked by sacrifice and resilience, became a cherished part of the community's memory. Allie continued to live in the nursing home, her days marked by the care and support of those around her. Though she missed Noah deeply, his presence remained a comforting memory. The staff and residents continued to share his story, honoring his legacy and the profound impact of his love. Noah's final days were a poignant reminder of the beauty of a love that endures through the trials of life. His devotion to Allie had created a lasting impact, touching the lives of many and leaving behind a legacy of love and commitment that would be remembered with deep gratitude and affection. In the quiet aftermath of Noah's passing, the nursing home found itself enveloped in a reflective and somber mood. The residents and staff were still grappling with the loss of a beloved figure whose unwavering love had left an indelible mark on their lives. As they sorted through Noah's belongings, they stumbled upon something profound and deeply personal, a notebook that held the story of his and Allie's life together. The notebook, a weathered leather-bound journal, was found in Noah's small, personal drawer. It had been tucked away with care, its pages filled with neatly written script and carefully preserved mementos. The staff recognized its significance and decided to honor Noah's memory by sharing the contents with the residents, offering a glimpse into the remarkable love story that had touched so many. Laura, one of the caregivers who had grown close to Noah and Allie, took on the task of revealing the notebook. She gathered the residents in the common room, a place that had been filled with many of their heartfelt conversations. As they settled into their seats, Laura held the notebook delicately, her emotions evident. "I want to share something special with you all," Laura said, her voice filled with reverence. "This is Noah's notebook. It's his account of the life he and Allie shared together. I think it's a fitting tribute to his memory and the incredible love they had." The residents listened intently as Laura began to read from the notebook. The pages were filled with Noah's reflections on their life together, his memories of their first meeting, the joys of their early years, the challenges they had faced, and the deep love that had sustained them. The entries were written with a mix of nostalgia, tenderness, and gratitude. In one entry, Noah recounted their first summer together, describing the way Allie had captivated him from the moment they met. His words painted vivid pictures of their time at the carnival, their visits to the lake house, and the blossoming romance that had defined that summer. "I remember the way Allie's eyes sparkled when she laughed," Noah had written. "Those moments of joy and connection were the beginning of a journey I would cherish for the rest of my life." As Laura continued to read, she shared Noah's reflections on the societal pressures they had faced and the heartache of their separation. The notebook revealed his deep sense of loss and longing during the years they were apart, as well as the hope that had carried him through. One passage described the day Noah had received Allie's letter, filled with excitement and nervous anticipation. "I had waited so long for this moment," Noah had written. "When I saw her handwriting, it was like a beacon of hope. I knew then that our love was something that could never truly be extinguished." The residents listened with rapt attention as Laura read about Noah's experiences during the war, his return to the lake house, and the subsequent challenges he and Allie faced. The notebook provided a window into Noah's heart, revealing the depth of his emotions and the strength of his commitment. One of the most poignant entries was written in the final months of Noah's life. In it, he reflected on the journey they had shared and the legacy of their love. "Even as I face the end of my life, I am filled with gratitude for the love Allie and I shared. It has been a source of strength and joy, and I hope that our story will inspire others to cherish the moments they have with their loved ones." As Laura finished reading the last passage, there was a profound silence in the room. The residents sat in contemplation, moved by the depth of Noah's love and the beauty of his reflections. The notebook had offered them a glimpse into a life well lived, a love that had transcended the ordinary, and a reminder of the enduring power of connection. Eleanor, who had been particularly touched by Noah's story, spoke softly. Noah and Allie's love was something truly special. Reading their story has reminded me of the beauty of my own memories and the importance of holding on to the love we've experienced in our lives. Laura nodded, her eyes glistening with emotion. Noah's notebook has given us all a precious gift, a reminder of the profound impact of love and the importance of cherishing our connections with those we care about. The nursing home staff decided to preserve the notebook as a treasured part of their community's history. It was placed in a special display in the common room, alongside photographs of Noah and Allie, and became a symbol of the enduring power of love. In the days that followed, the residents often gathered around the display, sharing their own stories and reflecting on the lessons from Noah's life. The notebook had not only honored Noah's memory but had also inspired a renewed appreciation for the love and relationships that enriched their own lives. Noah's legacy lived on through the stories he had shared, the love he had given, and the impact he had made on those around him. The notebook, a testament to a life of devotion and connection, continued to resonate with the residents, serving as a reminder that love, in all its forms, had the power to shape and transform lives. As the seasons changed and time moved forward, Noah's story remained a cherished part of the nursing home's fabric, a lasting tribute to a love remembered and a life well lived. The nursing home was draped in the soft hues of twilight, casting a serene glow over the rooms and corridors. The gentle hum of activity was punctuated by the occasional burst of laughter or quiet conversation. In one of the rooms, a deeply poignant moment was unfolding, Noah and Allie's final moments together. Noah's health had continued to decline, and he was now confined to his bed, surrounded by the compassionate care of the nursing home staff. Despite his frailty, his spirit remained unyielding, and his daily visits to Allie had become an enduring testament to his love. As the days grew shorter and the nights longer, the staff prepared for a significant but somber occasion, the final visit between Noah and Allie. It was a crisp winter afternoon when Noah's family and the nursing home staff helped him into a comfortable wheelchair. He wore a soft blanket over his lap, and his eyes, though tired, held a glimmer of determination. With the support of Laura and a nurse, Noah made his way to Allie's room, where he had spent countless hours by her side. Laura opened the door gently, and the warm light of the room greeted them. Allie was resting in her favorite chair by the window, the afternoon sun casting a golden glow on her peaceful face. She had been in a quiet state, her recognition wavering but her presence still a comforting constant. Noah's heart ached as he saw Allie, his love enduring through the pain of his own condition. He was carefully settled beside her chair, his hand reaching out to gently grasp hers. Allie's eyes fluttered open, and she looked at Noah with a familiar softness, though her understanding was blurred by the effects of her illness. "Hi, sweetheart," Noah said softly, his voice barely more than a whisper. "I'm here with you." Allie turned her gaze to him, her expression tender. "Noah," she murmured, her voice tinged with the faint echo of recognition. "You're here." Noah smiled through his fatigue, his hand squeezing hers gently. "Always, Allie. I've always been here, and I always will be." As they sat together, the room seemed to embrace them in a quiet cocoon of shared memories and love. Noah began to recount stories of their life together, his voice a soothing balm to both of them. He spoke of their first meeting, their summers by the lake, the challenges they had faced, and the moments of pure joy they had experienced. "I remember that summer we spent at the lake house," Noah said, his voice filled with emotion. "It was the best time of my life. The way you looked at me, the way we talked for hours, it was like magic." Allie's eyes softened as she listened, though her comprehension was fleeting. "It was magic," she agreed, her voice trembling. "You were my magic." Noah's eyes misted over as he looked at her. "And you were mine, Allie. You always will be. I want you to know how much I love you, and how grateful I am for every moment we've shared." The room was silent except for the soft murmurs of their voices and the gentle hum of the nursing home. The staff and family members who had gathered in the background respected the couple's privacy, their hearts touched by the profound love that still resonated in that room. As the afternoon wore on, Noah grew more tired, his breaths becoming shallow. He held Allie's hand, his thumb gently stroking her skin. He wanted to ensure that their final moments together were filled with the same love and connection that had defined their life. Allie's eyes grew heavy, and she leaned back in her chair, her hands still clasped in Noah's. "I love you, Noah," she whispered, her voice soft and faint. Noah leaned closer, his voice a tender whisper. "I love you too, Allie. Forever and always." The minutes passed in a tranquil silence, the bond between them palpable and unbreakable. As the sun began to set, casting a soft, melancholic light over the room, Noah's breathing grew more labored. He continued to hold Allie's hand, his presence a comforting reminder of their shared love. With one final, deep breath, Noah's eyes gently closed. His hand relaxed in Allie's, and a peaceful expression settled over his face. In that moment, it was as though the room itself held its breath, honoring the end of a love story that had spanned decades. Allie, sensing the change, looked at Noah with a mixture of confusion and sadness. She reached out with a trembling hand, her fingers brushing his face gently. "Noah." There was no response, but the warmth of Noah's presence lingered in the room. Allie's eyes filled with tears, and she closed them, holding on to the memory of his touch and the love that had defined their lives. As the staff and family members quietly gathered around, they offered their condolences and support. The room was filled with a profound sense of reverence and loss, but also with gratitude for the love that Noah and Allie had shared. Noah's final visit with Allie was a testament to a love that had endured through every trial and triumph. Their last moments together were marked by the same tenderness and devotion that had characterized their entire life. In their final goodbye, they had reaffirmed the power of their bond, a love that would be remembered and cherished by all who had witnessed it. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the nursing home settled into a reflective calm. The story of Noah and Allie, their final moments together, and the love that had shaped their lives remained a cherished part of the community's heart, a testament to the enduring impact of a love remembered.